Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Cape Shit Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Hector, also known as CN6.
And this is your other co-host, this is Hav. And in this episode, guys, we are going to be having a discussion pod where we're going to be taking a deeper dive into James Gunn's DC universe. So as of recently, he has gone to social media. Most specifically, he went on Twitter, or X as it's called now,
Right.
and he started to clear up some of the things, some of the questions that us as fans had about what's going on with this new DC universe that we got coming up. Before we get into it, though, we want to introduce our two special guests to the pod, making their first appearance on the Cape Shit Podcast. We got Jazzy, Mario.
What's up?
And then we got our
Some of you guys might know him from the
other pod, our other
Heat Ray
pod
Vision
that
podcast.
runs concurrently with this one as well.
Exactly.
The Heat Ray Vision podcast. And we also got another special guest who's also made his appearances on the Heat Ray Vision podcast. We got Danny.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, man. You already know if Danny in here. For any of you all who are HRV listeners, man, we'll see where this goes, man. Once Danny's here,
man.
that shit.
Danny,
He's an Avengers level threat, bro, with a mic. Danny with a microphone, bro.
when it comes to the discussion videos, man, it's always
He's an Avengers level threat.
yeah,
bro.
it's always fun to have these discussion videos when that involves Danny and everybody, man, including Mario. But before we get into it, guys, I'd like to remind you guys that you guys can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, Google, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Also, make sure you follow our socials at Cape Shit Podcast or go to capeshitpodcast.com. You're going to see all of our links through there. But yeah, guys, with that being said, suit the fuck up because we're about to get into it, man.
Hell
What you
yeah.
mean?
We're about to suit up in this.
So
bitch.
yeah, so this is a discussion video that Hav and I wanted to have, and originally it was just going to be him and I, but we decided, you know what, let's just push this back a little bit, include the boys, include Mario, include Danny, which Danny, he's been in a few discussion videos where we broke down the current state of the DCU, and we talked about, and we broke down James Gunn's DCU slate. So having him back is really cool, and yeah, and Hav is obviously, he's the mastermind of this pod, so he's gonna take it away and let us know. Well, he already let you guys know, but the talking points that he has for us.
Yeah. So I got basically all the notes on my phone, guys. So I'm going to
Yeah.
be doing the one that's going to be leading. So I guess in order for us to get started, real quick, before we get into the actual discussion portion, I want to give our viewers a little recap as to where we are currently in the DC universe, right? So I guess pods-wise, as far as the podcast, for any of you guys who are listening to our podcast for the first time, maybe you guys have no idea what the fuck is Heat Ray Vision, what the fuck is that, right? Any new listeners that may be listening, we have another podcast that runs concurrent with this one that we have right now. It's called the Heat Ray Vision Podcast, and that is a podcast where me, Six, and Jazzy, we basically review new media that comes out throughout the year. New movies every week, new TV shows, sometimes game reviews. We do discussion videos, stuff like that. So, one, we recommend that you guys, if you guys like the Cape Shit Podcast, to go check out Heat Ray Vision, subscribe, and follow all the socials. We would definitely recommend it.
I'll have all the links in the description.
Everything will be in the description for you guys to make it easier for you guys. And two, on our Heat Ray Vision podcast, we actually made two podcasts that kind of involved this discussion sort of format when it came to the DC universe. And I personally believe that for any new listeners out there, I think it's very important that you go back to our Heat Ray Vision podcast and listen to those two pods before sitting down and listening to this one, because I feel like then people would get the full context of what's going on right now. The first pod is a pod that we put out about 9 months ago.
Jesus.
That's crazy.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
9 months ago.
9 months ago.
So, you know, in the Heat Ray Vision podcast, guys, we break up our years of doing podcasts. It's like seasons.
Yes.
So, for those of you who want like the specifics, the first pod that we recommend you guys listen to is the current state of the DCU, which is season 2, episode 3 on the Heat Ray Vision podcast.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The next pod that we recommend that you guys listen to before listening to this one is season 2, episode 10, which is our thoughts on James Gunn's DCU slate. So we recommend that you guys go back and listen to those two pods. I know they're kind of lengthy. They're kind of,
oh
a
yeah,
long
dude.
time and shit.
They're definitely lengthy.
But we definitely we just take it from us. If you guys were to go back, listen to those two podcasts, you'll be up to date and caught up with what we're about to discuss right now. I think they're very essential. So I would recommend you guys go back and watch or listen to those. With that out of the way, I want to give a quick recap as to where we are DC universe wise. First off, we know that, a couple of months ago, at the beginning of the year, James Gunn announced his DC slate.
Yes.
He announced a bunch of TV shows, a bunch of movies. Before I go on, by any chance, just out of curiosity, and I think this question's more towards Danny, low-key.
Okay, yeah.
As far as DC, James Gunn's DC slate, has any of your guys', Mario, Hector, Danny, have your guys' opinions changed on any of the projects that he announced now that some time has passed by? I guess I'll start with.
That's a good question.
I'll start with Hector. Just I think Hector might. I'm curious.
Has my thoughts changed? I don't think so. Not at all. I'm still hyped and looking forward to them, especially when we did the Why We Need Superman Legacy episode.
Yes.
Where James Gunn actually went onto that podcast and was basically admitting and saying that he was self-aware of how important this movie was and how it's going to stray away from what he normally does, which, as we always discussed, how we don't want to see that James Gunn comedy type of feel that he does in this movie, and he's completely aware of that. So I think just hearing him on that podcast and actually and confirm stuff, and even confirming and debunking things and on X, right, or Twitter, makes me feel more comfortable.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And makes me trust him even more. So like the way I was hyped back then, I'm still hyped now. Even back in our, I think, the DCU slate, where we talked about it, when they announced Green Lanterns, and Danny was like, "No, man," and we were like, "No, that shit fire," or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm me from that time ago. Or like, I'm just still hyped. I'm ready, man. You know what I mean? And especially, I know you mentioned this in a previous pod of one of our HRV pods, Hav, that the way the MCU is, the direction that it's going right now. You said it perfectly, that the way that the MCU is going right now, it just makes you more excited and for James Gunn's new DCU.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I definitely 100% agree with that statement, man. That's where I'm at, dude, currently. Yeah. But yeah.
What about you, Mario? Because I feel like Danny's going to go on a tangent, so I want to leave him last.
Yeah, let's see what Danny got.
Has your opinions changed on any of the projects that James Gunn announced, from Creature Commandos to Swamp Thing? All those projects.
Is Swamp Thing the last thing?
Well, that was the last thing he announced. He also said that Swamp Thing is not the last project in Chapter 1.
You know what's really side thing really quickly? You know how the MCU showcases like their timeline and they show like the logos and stuff?
Yeah.
James Gunn never really did that, right? But I did find like a leak photo.
Oh, yeah.
You saw that, of James Gunn doing that presentation and showing it to a selected group of people.
Yeah.
And he had that timeline with like the logos and stuff. I wish he'd made that public.
Yeah.
Right? And we actually can see like what's like in order. If that makes sense. Actually, maybe we could pull it up.
Yeah, I think maybe the reason why he didn't do it is because when Marvel Studios does it, there's dates with them.
That's true.
And a lot of these projects don't have dates, only other than what's it called? Superman Legacy. That's the only one really with a date on it.
Yeah.
But you were gonna say, Mario?
No, I was about to say. Honestly, when I remember seeing that Twitter video, what's it called? I remember everything that he announced. I was just like, I only recognize Batman and Superman. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? But when we were doing that DC discussion video, I remember the one project that Danny actually said that it was one of the projects. Like Danny was one of the few projects that Danny was actually looking forward to. If he said if they did it right, it was
Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost, because
you remember that, Danny? You said you were hyped for that one?
Yeah, because I think he said in the video, like, oh, it's a Game of Thrones type of show that we aim to make. And Danny said, like, if it's true what he's saying, that show's going to be badass. And if after what Danny told me what it's about, I was like, yo, if it really is like that, that's the one I'm looking forward to the most out of everything that he announced.
Well, just to recap, right? I have it right here, and I actually have like I found the leaked photo, and like I can see the order here. So the first thing is Creature Commandos. The second thing will be Superman Legacy. The third will be Waller. The next up is The Authority. And then it's Booster Gold. And then The Brave and the Bold. And then we have Lanterns. And then Supergirl, the Woman of Tomorrow. And then it's Paradise Lost. And then Swamp Thing is the last thing.
Damn.
And keep in mind...
it's not the full first chapter.
I was about to say that. Thank you, Hav. I was about to say that. Like, James Gunn said, this is just a part of the first chapter. Oh,
I think that everything Javi said as to why he didn't release that photo, I completely agree. And the other thing too is that we also have to keep in mind is that, you know, plans can change at any given point.
Yeah,
it is a business after all.
Yeah.
So if maybe from like a business perspective, it's like, maybe I can have this like blockbuster film, right? But if I have these kind of like mediocre films or like shows like right behind it, maybe it won't. Maybe like the setup to the next blockbuster film, it probably like the excitement won't probably be there.
Yeah,
I
agree. I actually I just came up with a question.
Okay.
And I think it's a pretty interesting question. And Hav and I, we mentioned before in the Why We Need Superman Legacy episode, and even before that, we mentioned how important that movie is, right? And if that movie flops, then our expectations, okay, then there's no point, right?
Okay.
And I understand that it's because it's Superman, the face of DC, right? I understand. So my question is, since we know Creature Commandos is coming first,
yeah,
if Creature Commandos flops and is not good, how would you guys feel?
I'd be worried.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I've said that before. I think I said that for me, because like a lot of people, like there was a whole confusion, right? In the DC pod, when we did the DC slate, a lot of people, like one of our confusion was like, where does the canon start, right? For me, I'm like, listen, just because Flash and Shazam and all these movies, right, whether they're good or not, I'm not going to count that. Like for me, I need to see Creature Commandos and see where it goes. So for me, yeah, if that shit flopped, if it was bad, I'd be worried, man.
Yeah.
I'd be way worried.
What about you, Danny? Well, first off, right, really quick, right? Are you hyped for Creature Commandos?
I'll be honest with you, bro. Not really. I'll be honest with you. If it flops, it'll be a shame. But if it does good, then good. Me personally, I don't really care,
right?
Because I'm more of one of those. I guess you can call us, like a regular moviegoers, where it's like I kind of just go because of the bigger names, when it comes to a film or a show, like Spider-Man,
I got you.
Superman in this case for Superman Legacy, or The Brave and the Bold, Batman. I'm kind of just going more for those movies because I'm more aware of, those characters, because I've grown up with them, right? But like the characters in what is it? Future Commando?
Yeah.
Creature Commando. I mean, I probably won't even know any of them,
Right.
But that's not to say that, maybe I won't walk out of the theater, be like, you know what? This was a solid ass movie. I like so and so. I think this character's, pretty cool. Yeah. Stuff like that.
I mean, I definitely understand like where you're coming from, but I'm just saying like, even if you decide to watch Creature Commandos and let's say it turns out to be good, right? I'm assuming, like, would that influence you? Like, you know what? Like, this is actually pretty good. I'm actually kind of looking forward more to this universe.
Yeah. Now. If it turns out to be good, then I think my expectations when it comes to, like, James Gunn giving us films and shows about, like, underrated characters that not many people in the public space know, unless you're a comic book fan. Right, and you kind of know the characters going into the shows or the films. I think that would just get me a little bit more excited because I'm like, you know what? Because he did it with the Suicide Squad, right? Like that's an example. Guardians. And the Guardians, right?
And Peacemaker.
And not a lot of people knew about those characters unless you were a comic book fan, or if you were just like a diehard Marvel fan, right? But he made those characters, fall in love with us, and we fell in love with those characters, bruh. Yeah. But I mean, I got nothing else to say really about that.
You. Have you already answered? Mario, what do you think, man? If Creature Commandos is like, if it flops or if it's really good, like what? Depending on the outcome, would you be worried for like future projects, especially for Superman Legacy, or would you not count that? Would you just count like Superman Legacy, like, you know what I mean?
I mean, if it's bad, like I mean real bad, then I'll be worried. Yeah. But even if it's just okay, I don't think it will affect me.
It won't break it.
It won't break it. But if it's bad, like if I'm watching and I'm like, bro, I'm bored, then I'll be worried.
Okay, I can see that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, I want to make sure the listeners know that like I'm probably like my opinion on DC and Marvel shit. Like take it with a grain of salt. I'm not like compared to like Javi and Hector and Danny, they all super love comic book heroes and shit. I'm like super casual with this genre. So just know if I find it boring, you doesn't carry a lot of weight behind it. Just let everybody know that where I stand when it comes to this topic.
So Mario, what did you think? I think it was boring. Hey, what do you know, motherfucker?
Anyway. Yeah, for real though. Like I'm not even joking.
Why you didn't ask? Right? Yeah, right. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Never mind.
Like Danny's the casual moviegoer. I'm the casual superhero person.
That's fair.
That is fair.
That's fair because I would say Danny, like I could see that you would be like a casual and stuff. But here's the thing. I do want to like give you your flowers in a sense where the things that you do like and you are passionate about, you are very knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Like when it comes to like the bigger blockbuster films like Superman or Batman or something like that.
Yeah,
like of course I'm gonna go in there, you know, with probably not my expectations all the way up, right? Just because you know we've been let down by DC in the past. But now DC has a new face, and it's James Gunn. Yeah. Right.
With a good track record.
Yeah. With the good track record. I will say, adding to something, I guess what Mario kind of said is that, and something that I also mentioned, is that back when we did the discussion of like discussing the films in the timeline, how we kind of all felt. The one thing that I do like that he's kind of like, you know, taking the approach of showing us like lesser known characters and then like kind of spacing out the big blockbuster films, you know, like Superman, Supergirl, Batman and all that, and the Flash, the Green Lantern film or show. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I do like that he's I do like that he's taking, you know, like a big risk, you know, but he also took a big risk at Marvel with the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? That came out to be phenomenal. What happened? You know, the trilogy was amazing, right? All three films were bangers. You know, with Peacemaker, I've never seen Peacemaker, I'll be honest. Dude, I kind of really just saw like the little teaser at the very end.
It's really good.
Yeah, I hear really good things about it. You know, not many people knew about Peacemaker, you know, going into this second Suicide Squad film. And when he did his own thing with...
Yeah.
What was it with the other thing that we mentioned?
Which one?
Guardians, Peacemaker. Oh, Peacemaker, the Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad. Yeah, you know, like he kind of brought us like different characters. It wasn't the same old characters from the first film. You know, he brought a fresh batch of characters. You know, and so like he did all of them very well.
Yeah,
right?
dude.
He did them all well.
That's why, like, I have trust, man. I have trust in him. And also, just really quick, guys, if you hear background noise, I apologize. I got my family, you know, upstairs. You know how it is, guys.
But the one thing that to get to the point, the one thing I did want to say is that let's just say the first film flops, right? I genuinely feel because the way his universe is established, you know, like everybody is aware of a Superman. Everybody's aware of a Batman. Everybody's aware of all of these, like, superhuman being, right? Humans and creatures. I feel like he can give himself and kind of us like time to make us fall in love with these characters if the film flops at first, because he can save himself, say, you know what, I took a risk with that film, but now I know, you know, what not to do and how to do things correctly in the next film, or like, you know, if he decides to give those characters in that first film a show of their own, you know. So I think he's got ways to like save his own butt at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, I get you, but it's funny because we didn't even get into how he's talking points, man. That was just my question that I brought up. But anyway,
that's cool. It's gonna be a long one.
Oh my, yeah. Let's see.
Those discussion videos were not videos. Podcasts were long, dude. Mm-hmm. People love it. Though.
I mean, yeah. Let's see how this one goes. But yeah, I'll leave it to you. Yeah, I'll leave it to you, man. We're moving on.
All right. So, like I said, I wanted to just kind of go over the DC slate and stuff like that. We're still even in the recap portion.
Oh my god,
we haven't even got into the
play, dude. No, we're good, man. We're good. We'll be good, man.
Another thing that I wanted to recap real quick is that when we did the pod for the James Gunn DC slate, we basically, there were a lot of questions among us, like talking about like where does the canon start, like. Mm-hmm. You know, with him announcing all these projects, will the previous DC projects be canon, like Shazam and Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman, all these projects that came before?
Right.
You know, our question was like, well, like what are they going to do? Are those not canon anymore? Are they canon? Or I know me and Hector, we theorized, will James Gunn pick and choose what's canon? So we were all kind of left with these questions like, well, we just don't know where it starts. Like, we don't know what the fuck is going on. So that's what this pod's really about. Because James Gunn actually went on social media because a lot of people have the same questions as us, and they went on Twitter to like ask James Gunn like, hey, so like what the fuck is going on, my guy? And he actually surprisingly came and answered a bunch of questions. And that's why, you know, this pod is about clearing up any confusion that we may have had about, you know, what's going on with this DC universe. So the first thing that he announces, the first thing that I feel like we should talk about is that he confirms 3 returning actors who will be coming back in his DC universe. Yep. One of those being Cholo Maridueña to play Blue Beetle, which we saw his movie a few months ago. Yep. He confirmed that Viola Davis will be coming back to play Amanda Waller, and that John Cena will be coming back to play Peacemaker.
Yes. Yep.
5. Should I mention this?
All of it.
Mini story that happened with
if
John
you
Cena?
want, bro.
Did we ever mention it on this podcast?
I can't. No, not on Cape Shit. I think maybe you mentioned it on HRV.
Yeah, so maybe. I had a dream, like really quick. I don't want to drag it on too long, right, Danny? I had a dream that John Cena passed away.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Weird. I don't know what it was. I thought it was real life. I thought John Cena passed away, bro, and I just remember being super upset. And this might sound really fucked up, but like I was upset because I'm like, dude, like no more Peacemaker. And then I woke up and I was like, thank God it was a dream. That was it, bro. It was so weird. I don't know what triggered it. It was just a random ass dream.
Bro. So the show must be that good then, if it's giving you nightmares like that.
No, it's really good. It's really good, dude.
I'll probably check it out.
It's really fucking good. But anyways, that's the anyways.
But yeah, those are the returning actors. So we got Blue Beetle, Amanda Waller, and Peacemaker are coming back to James Gunn's universe.
Hopefully, what are your guys' thoughts? Hopefully, maybe in the. Oh, sorry, I kind of. You're jumped good. On the boat, but I like him. You know, I mean, I haven't seen Peacemaker, so I can't really say too much about John Cena's performance. Like I mentioned earlier, all I saw was the credit scene, if that's what it was, or like the very end of Peacemaker when you know the Justice League, you know, the silhouettes of all of them besides Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Cyborg, I believe, right? You know, they were talking to him, and so then he tells Aquaman, my boy Aquaman, why don't you go fuck a fish? So that was real fucking funny. That was real funny to me. But yeah, I mean everybody else, Amanda Walker, you know, I mean her role is playing as Amanda Walker. She's always been good. You know, I've always liked her since Suicide Squad. I never had an issue with her.
I just think of her as like the Nick Fury.
Yeah.
You know,
just more like universe. Strict and like more like kind of badass in a way. Just because. I mean, they don't really be showing Nick Fury all badass no more. But
the way they be doing.
The other guy, I don't even know his name. The Blue Beetle dude. Yeah, him. I actually just finished watching that film like a couple weeks ago with my family. It's a solid ass movie, you know. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see him. I had my kind of like, you know, how are they gonna tackle, you know, the Mexican culture? How are they gonna tackle his character per se? You know. And is this character even worthy or worth of being, you know, a part of Gunn's future, you know, within his universe, you know? But nonetheless, his movie was raw.
So here's my thing, right, with Blue Beetle, right? So obviously we're still speculating. Oh, is Blue Beetle going to be part of the DCU? And obviously James Gunn confirmed it, right? Yeah. With when he announced those 3 people returning. So my thing, does that mean? He said the actor's returning, right? Yeah. So does that mean the movie itself is part of the DCU?
I had that talking point.
Okay, sorry.
It has to be.
Yeah.
I feel like it has to be.
Yeah.
I think his way of confirming that the actors are coming back means that their respective projects are. So if you think of Blue Beetle, then that's Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Then you think of Peacemaker. Well, that's Peacemaker, the show, but also the Suicide Squad is technically canon.
That's what I'm exactly.
See that?
Yeah.
And Amanda Waller, same thing. The Suicide Squad, she was canon. That was canon.
Black Adam. Dumbass. Black Adam. She was in there.
Yeah.
So, that's true, man.
Yeah.
It's canon.
It's canon. She was in there for the post-credit scene. It's canon.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Even though we know, James Gunn was like, fuck that.
Yeah,
fuck
right.
Black Adam. And I wouldn't be surprised if he also said, fuck you, Suicide Squad 1.
Yeah.
Because she was in that.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Why not just have James Gunn's DC universe, have his Suicide Squad just be his movie? I'll take that.
Fuck it. Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I think so too, and that was the talking point that I had. But,
gotcha, bro.
But I do think that was his way of confirming, like, that maybe those movies are technically canon.
So technically, Blue Beetle, or no, technically it would be what was it? The Suicide Squad would be the first ever DCU movie if that were to be the case, right?
It would be Suicide Squad, then Peacemaker, the show, then it'd be Blue Beetle.
Beetle, and then that's it.
And then Creature Commandos and all these other stuff.
Right. But it's so... Go ahead.
I was going to say, you think he would necessarily come out and say their movies are canon? Or do you think that they'll kind of just make references to their movies? That way, it doesn't, like, mess with the way that film was, like, filmed versus how Gunn has his own views on how his films under his universe are going to be directed in, like, the atmosphere and the environment.
I mean, what do you think, Hav?
I think him confirming the actors coming back, kind of like unwillingly, even if he didn't mean to, if it wasn't his intentions, kind of confirms that those respective movies are canon.
Okay.
I feel like, right? Even if what Danny's saying is true, because I'm gonna get this later in the talking point, but he does mention in those tweets.
Yes, that's what I wanted to bring that up. But I'll wait.
That he did mention that even though maybe some projects may not be canon, that they still will make references to past movies.
Okay.
So like, even if they make references, it's like, well, then technically speaking, those movies are canon. Yeah. That's why I'm saying I feel like the chronological order would be Suicide Squad because that first came out. And that connects to Peacemaker and Waller coming back, right?
Yeah.
Then it's Peacemaker, the show, again, Peacemaker, and then Blue Beetle, again, Blue Beetle. That's already the 3 actors confirmed right there. So now the other DC projects, like, I'm surprised Shazam's not one of them. He was not confirmed, which means his movies are probably now not canon and technically Elseworlds. Aquaman is not surprising at all, just because.
And actually, we thought Aquaman was gonna be a part of it, man.
But he didn't even return. He didn't even say.
Or what if he returns? Right, there's rumors as Lobo.
That's what I want.
That's what a lot of people are saying, is that he might return as the Lobo character in the DC universe.
I fell in love with his character as Aquaman though, just because.
Well, he's your favorite hero, right?
Yeah, Aquaman's my boy. Yeah,
that's really surprising.
A lot of people would talk down on my boy Aquaman, man.
He's OP.
And then when his movies came out, bro, I ain't seen films for any of the other fuck ass superheroes. Where are their films? That's where I get them every time.
I like that Aquaman.
Aquaman's OP, man. I feel like people don't really.
They don't respect.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, true. So if I see, what's his name? Jason Momoa, right? This is the actor's name. Yeah. So if I see him come back as the Lobo, hey man, fuck it, but that's gonna be Aquaman for me, man. That's gonna be my Aquaman, man.
Okay.
But yeah, man.
So the what was the other talking point, bro? Because I don't want to jump ahead because I have something in my mind that I want to say, it was a tweet that he said.
I'm about to get into the tweets right now.
Okay, I got you, bro.
So
I don't want to jump ahead.
So right now that we got the actors out of the way, so we know what's confirmed. We know the actors that are coming back, and technically speaking, because he confirmed the actors coming back, and now we kind of have an idea of what movies.
And once again, I have no issues with them coming back.
Fuck no, absolutely. These are good. These are good choices.
Yeah. Right. Just really quick, before you do get into them, I just want to say something. I just hope he kind of like puts his universe in chronological order in check, and he doesn't pull some Marvel Studios where everything's going great, right? Infinity War, psych.
Captain
Marvel takes place all the way in the past.
Yeah.
Right. So y'all gotta revisit the past, and then an Endgame.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to see that type of stuff.
No,
so
I got you.
I just hope the way that he inlines his like movies and his shows kind of just makes sense to the point where it's like, all right, so from this movie it goes to this show, from this show to this movie to that movie, and so on. Because I don't really want to be going back and forth. Even though I know for some characters you gotta go right, you gotta visit the past, you gotta visit their past, so you're bound to see that. It's just I really want to just try my best to shy away from it. I don't know if this is something that you're gonna get into, but I just hope, because in his universe everybody is aware of everybody, all the superhumans and stuff, and all the super creatures, is that I really don't want to see origins anymore for the bigger characters. I kind of just want them to pull what Marvel did with Spider-Man Homecoming. They kind of we know their background, we know their origins, so just throw us in their film, and basically surprise us, you know, with some shit that's never been done in their previous films, you know. But sorry, keep going.
Yeah.
Get to your talking point, bro.
No, I mean, I agree.
Yeah,
and I think, and that is what they're gonna do. I mean, we already know Superman Legacy is not gonna be an origin movie. I think Brave and the Bold is not. So I think that's definitely the direction they're gonna go in. It's like, let's not waste any time. Let's just get into the shit. I think that's what they're gonna do. Okay, so like I said, some people on Twitter, they are tweeting out to James Gunn, and he's like, "Hey man, so like, what the fuck going on, man? Like, I'm confused with all this canon bullshit. So like, what it do, right?" One person, shout out to @FlipTheUSB2ice. That's the name of the dude's handle.
@FlipTheUSB2ice.
Okay.
So he tweets to James Gunn. He goes, "You said, and I quote, DC Studios movies and canon will start with Superman Legacy. I and many others are still confused." Because, like, he said, "Oh, yeah, Creature Commandos, it starts, right? Like, Creature Commandos and then Waller." And then he's like, "But the true DC starts with Superman." And I know even with us at the previous pods, we were like, so does that mean those other two projects you announced are not canon until Superman? Or what the fuck does that mean, right? So that's where he comes in, chimes in on Twitter, and he tweets to like clear up any confusion.
Yeah.
He put, "Nothing is canon until Creatures Commandos next year."
You see, and that is where I'm still confused about, Hav. He said nothing is canon until Creature Commandos, right? So does that mean Blue Beetle is not canon? It's just the actors coming back?
It has to be, bro, because if they come back...
Well, he said it himself right there. Nothing is canon until Creatures Commandos.
You know what? Or what?
That's what's confusing me, man.
What if this guy Gunn, he, you know,
bro,
they start name dropping a bunch of superheroes that are already within the years, and what if in his universe they already had that the what is it from the Flashpoint? What if what if they used Flashpoint, right? But they don't. It's not the Flashpoint from the Flash film that just came out, right? But they make references to like maybe a Flashpoint or something happened along in his universe where it's the same character, yes, but maybe they're making references to like the film, right? That was outside of his universe. However, they're like changing up and tweaking a little bit of things, you know.
So you're basically saying that what if there was a Flashpoint, but not the Flashpoint that we got in the Flash movie, the DCEU. Yeah. You're saying a completely different Flashpoint that we don't see.
Yeah.
And it resets Blue Beetle.
Yes.
Interesting.
And it resets Blue Beetle, and Gunn pretty much just takes like the parts that he felt were like worthy enough to like even be like referencing from his film. It's because my thing is, if he himself said that the universe is already like begun, right? Everybody's aware of one another, right? Everybody knows what's going on. My thing is, so what exactly has already happened in the universe and what hasn't happened, if that makes sense? Yeah. You know? Like how do we know there wasn't some sort of Flashpoint, you know, somewhere within the universe? And the reason why these guys are making films of all of these characters, you know, it's just because of that Flashpoint, bro. You know, because my thing, it wouldn't really make sense, because the way that I kind of envision it is like, if you want to start Superman like as a film, cause he's gonna be the first superhero that you kind of want to introduce. But if you're having like characters or superheroes or super creatures ahead of him, right, and then immediately start like giving us like underrated like characters that we don't really know about, and then we get to the Brave and the Bold, and Batman already has his son. So then where the fuck was he, and how did he become Batman in this universe? Like that, all that is where I'm very confused, and I'm asking myself questions. You know, so
the fact that we don't have like a straight timeline with dates and everything, like
or like the straight beginning of like what actually happened, like what has happened, and what is, you know, where is like this universe taking us, or like will there ever be a Flashpoint? You know, like, because I mean, I don't think he mentioned like a Flash film and like that leaked photo. No. You know,
I mean, that's where I just want James Gunn to come out and say, like, straight up, dude, like, yo, honestly, man, I'm gonna be real with y'all. this ain't canon. This ain't canon. This is. You know what I mean?
I get you.
But no, he just says he confirms people coming back from previous DCU projects, but then says this bullshit and says nothing's canon until it's Creature Commandos.
Right.
So it's like, okay. So
well, that's not the full tweet though.
Oh. Go.
Yeah, I mean it's not the full tweet,
okay,
and I think I have a theory. I have an idea of what he might do. So his tweet says that nothing is canon until Creature Commandos next year.
Yeah.
A sort of aperitif to the DCU, which is another word for appetizer. Kind of a taste of what the DC universe will be.
Okay, yeah.
So nothing's canon until Creature Commandos next year, and then a deeper dive into the universe with Superman Legacy after that. He goes, it's a very human drive to want to understand everything all the time, but I think it's okay to be confused on what's happening in the DCU since no one has seen anything from the DCU yet.
Okay, that's fair. The way I'm taking that is like you just got to watch these projects that I'm doing, and then you'll be able to put the pieces together.
Yeah,
everything
and
will
find
make
out
sense.
yourself what is canon.
So
not.
now I want to kind of break down the tweet a little bit because I think I have a theory, right? So he says nothing is canon until Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
Right.
And then a deeper dive into the universe with Superman Legacy, like after that. But then again, he's confirming Blue Beetle, Amanda Waller, and John Cena Peacemaker to come back.
Yeah.
He says a deeper dive into the universe after, right? Creature Commandos. So what if their respective projects, Suicide Squad, Peacemaker Show, Blue Beetle, what if they are canon? But in a timeline sense, it takes place after Creature Commandos.
After?
Right.
Huh. That's an okay. So let me see if I'm following you here, bro. You're saying, what if it starts with Creature Commandos?
Yeah.
And have the movies that we mentioned of the previous DCU projects that the actors that are confirmed coming back from, have those happen after Creature Commandos.
Right.
So essentially, Creature Commandos being a prequel to those projects.
Yeah, sure.
Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, that comes first, and then in a timeline sense with the dates. Mm-hmm. Have Creature Commandos first, and then it's the Suicide Squad.
And then Peacemaker and
which
then leads
Blue
into
Beetle.
Waller.
Right.
And then we can have, like, Blue Beetle take place a little later.
Kind of like Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I know what you're... yeah. Wait, what'd you say, Mario?
It's like Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Well, it's more like a reverse Captain Marvel. Because she came out... Her movie came later into the DCU. Yeah. But in a timeline sense, it was a prequel. Because it came out in the 90s before everything else did. So that's what I'm saying. What if it's like, oh, no, Creature Commandos is when the canon starts. And it's like, what about these other projects? I was like, well, in a chronological timeline, they take place after. You know what I mean? Like, who's to say Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, and Blue Beetle don't take place in 2024?
I didn't think about that. I did not think about that.
That would be one way. I feel like you could fit the timeline in the projects.
That. Yeah, that would make sense.
Like, from a timeline perspective, just have it take place like sometime in that era.
If Peacemaker's confirmed, does that mean every single other character in that show is also coming back? Because I know we got those 3 actors being confirmed, right? But does that mean everyone else is coming back? Vigilante.
Yes.
Does that mean the Suicide Squad, like
are going to be a thing?
Harley Quinn.
Yes.
All those actors are coming back.
Yeah, that's kind of like.
That's how I'm taking it.
No, yeah, that's kind of like with him confirming the actors. I think people don't tend to understand that just by him confirming with the actors coming back, you look at their projects and you're like, well, technically speaking, the movie that they're in, that means all that's canon. Mm-hmm. So that we can already tell Rick Flag, Harley Quinn, Bloodsport.
I was about to say, because I really love
all those characters are probably going to be canon. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I just feel like people don't understand, like, him confirming that which actors were coming back for the DCU in his universe is like big info.
Brainer.
A lot of people are just kind of like, oh, whatever. I guess he just confirmed 3 actors.
I wonder how he's going to deal with the ending of Peacemaker with the Justice League and with Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller's Flash appearances.
Yeah.
Like, is that going to be retconned? You know what I mean?
Probably he might retcon that and kind of call it off, kind of like pull it off as a Flashpoint thing.
But that's the thing. If he says that, it's a Flashpoint thing. The Flash, is that canon? You know what I mean? It just goes back to our questions. It's like, is the Flashpoint actually canon? Because the way I would say to save the confusion is have everything be canon in the DCEU, no matter, even if it was trash, right? And have the Flash do the Flashpoint thing where it resets everything, and then that's how the new DCU begins. You know what I mean? I think that's like the safest way, and even though I kind of don't like that because some of the DCU movies weren't great, but I think that would be the safest and cleanest way to do that, right? But yeah, and Danny had to use the restroom. He was just basically giving his theory. If you want to tell him how, real quick.
I was just basically saying how James Gunn said that nothing is canon until Creature Commandos.
Right.
And Hector was like, well, so what the fuck does that mean? Does that mean Peacemaker, Suicide Squad, and the Blue Beetle movie? Are those not canon? And I told him, what if they are? But in a chronological timeline sense, they just take place after Creature Commandos.
You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but I don't think the Peacemaker one would make sense because it's showing Aquaman as Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
That's
what he was bringing up.
Yeah, we're just talking about that. We're just saying how he might just retcon that.
Either he might retcon it, write it off as Flashpoint, or realistically, what they might do,
they can pull like an Iron Man with Rhodey type of thing,
or it's like, yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah,
they just never bring it up again.
But yeah. I feel like
James they do what he said, like Rhodey, that actually did happen, but obviously, it's just different actors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just recast.
It fell with those actors, so now we got these new faces.
Yeah,
right.
You know, no, but I like that. You know,
so I was telling him because who's to say the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker show, Blue Beetle? Who's to say that these movies and projects don't take place in 2024 when Creature Commandos comes out?
True, I can see that. I can see that because I can actually see that, and maybe we can just call the second Suicide Squad the first one because. I mean, I think we can.
I doubt he's going to canonize the first one.
I think, we can all forget the first one, right? The second one, it was the more important one.
Yes,
clearly.
That one was way better, man.
It was way better. It's a lot more memorable. There you go. You know, than the first one. But I like that, Hav.
Yeah. I also have here on my notes that basically what he's saying is that we're going to get a deeper dive into the DC universe with Superman Legacy. Yeah. It makes sense. He's like, Creature Commandos is just kind of like a taste of what my universe is going to hold. And we're going to go into a deeper dive in my movie. That makes sense because if you remember, Superman Legacy is going to introduce the Authority, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, and Guy Gantner Green Lantern.
That's a lot of people, man.
That's a lot of people, dude.
I just hope... Go ahead.
That's a lot of people, and that's the thing that... I want to call out on behalf of Hav and I, where that was one of our biggest critiques for Batman v Superman. Was that the involvement of many characters, right?
I got you.
And so obviously that does worry me too, but it does worry me just because so I've had people because I'm sure there's a clip out there that we on the HRV pod. How we hated that situation, and then there's people saying, "But that's how the comics are." Well, true. Comics and movies aren't the same thing.
Yeah,
right. It's just some things work better in the comic books, and some things work in the movies. Right? In the comic books, usually it's a lot more faster
and it's a lot more detailed.
Right. And in movies, I just think you can't necessarily rush those things in a movie. You know what I mean? It's so much. It's a different atmosphere.
Right.
So I think that was my biggest issue. And like I said, I gotta call us out, Hav, right? We said those that we didn't like that, right? And so the fact that that's legit, that's what's gonna happen for Superman, does have me worried. But I do have some faith and I do have trust because maybe James Gunn could do it well, right? Because he does a great job playing with and messing with different characters at the same time that we've seen before, right, with Guardians and Suicide Squad, the team members and shit,
right,
and especially with Peacemaker, right. Introducing other people and stuff. So maybe he could do it in a way where it works.
I agree,
and I like to see how it goes,
right? Or even if it goes bad at any given reason, I mean, he can always just have that character on the side. You know, maybe in the future projects where he's like, you know what, it makes sense to. Maybe it didn't make sense in Superman Legacy to have X, Y, and Z character, right? Let me just kind of hide them or put them in the shadow, and then kind of throw them back out there in future projects,
like a Rhodey situation with Iron Man, where like he's there, he's in the movie, and his name is Rhodey, but obviously we don't see him as War Machine, and we just know that like people already know, it's War Machine. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like something like that you're saying?
Yeah, you know that's what I'm saying.
But what if they're already established, right? You know what I mean?
If they're already established, I like to think that maybe some of them he's probably not really thinking long-term longevity for, you know, and maybe he could pull like what he pulled for some of the characters in the second Suicide Squad, where he was either kind of just like killing them off, you know, or he like introduced us to them, but like we never really saw them again after that, or like for the duration of the film, you know.
Right.
So, but yeah, I can see why that would worry you, you know. But I think Gunn has the skills when it comes to that.
No, yeah,
know? It's just, I mean,
he's done it before.
But if you're telling me we're going into a film and every single one of those characters has an actual meaning, you know, behind the film, then I think that's where you're kind of gonna lose me, because it's like I really doubt that 6 characters, you know, aren't really as important as the main character of the film. You get me?
Yeah.
Or like you can tease them, you know, like fuck tease them. Like I would love that, you know. Then like reintroduce them in their own projects or in future projects with other characters, you know. So.
Yeah. No, I agree. What's it called? Oh fuck! What the fuck?
What's up?
Oh, my fault. I thought I lost notes for a second. I just clicked on some shit.
He deletes them.
Yeah, right.
He deletes the notes. No.
What
All right,
fuck?
y'all. Podcast over.
That's crazy.
Party's over.
But what's it called? So yeah, obviously, you know, we know all those characters are being introduced in Superman Legacy, right? James Gunn also put out another tweet replying to himself again, right, where he said like nothing is canon until Creature Commandos. He put out another tweet. He said, and yes, some actors will be playing characters they've played in other stories. And some plot points might be consistent with plot points from the dozens of films, shows, and animated projects that have come from DC in the past.
Yeah.
But nothing is canon until Creature Commandos and Legacy. So here he's saying basically like we're going to bring back actors to play the same characters as in other projects. Animated TV shows, movies.
Yes.
And they will reference their own movies and shit from the past.
Yeah.
That's why when I say that they introduced Blue Beetle, Waller, and John Cena Peacemaker, with him tweeting that, I feel like their movie's got to be canon if they reference it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like how is Peacemaker gonna reference some shit that goes down with the show? Like, hey man, I had to find my dad. He was a fucking Nazi. Oh, but like his show's not canon though. So like, what are we just supposed to like take his word for it in that one scene? Yeah. And it's like, oh no, if you want more context, well then just go watch a show. Is the show not canon though? Isn't that what James Gunn said? See how does that make sense? So they have to be. I feel like they have to be canon.
You know what? After you saying all that stuff, and giving the example, low key, bro, I really hope this guy doesn't pull one of those. To understand my universe, you got to read the books. You got to play the games. You got to watch the animated shows and films, right? You got to watch the live action stuff. I really hope that isn't the case with this. It'll be cool, you know, don't get me wrong, for like those diehard comic, you know, superhero fans. Yeah. Like, sure. But for regular, like, moviegoers, you know, like me, right, as an example, I'm not really trying to do all that extra BS, bro. Just like, I'm just trying to go see your film. If I like it, I'm gonna like it. If I'm not gonna like it, I'm not gonna like it. Yeah. But at the point where you start telling me, oh, if I want to know more about this character, I gotta go watch this animated show on fucking Max. I'm not gonna do that, bro.
I know what you're talking about. I think Hav and I think we talked about this before, and what Hav and I came to the conclusion was that whenever that happens, it probably won't be for like big storylines, if that makes sense. Like if, let's say, the game's coming out, right? oh, do you want to know what happens in between this and this? It's not important, but you just want to see what the gang's been up to. Play this, but it's not essential to understand compared to for the next movie.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
It's like one of those things where it's like, if you know, you know.
Right.
And if not, you're not going to be lost.
Exactly.
You don't necessarily need it.
Yeah. But I do understand like your point, man. And just like on a little tangent, it reminds me of with Halo.
I was about to say with Halo,
right? What they did with Halo 5.
That you got to read the books,
where you have to read the books first to understand what's happening in Halo 5, and you have to read a bunch. Like they're not picture books. They're novels.
Just for those of you listening, he was looking at me as he said
I'm looking at Danny. They're not comics, boys.
Because I only read picture books,
comics and shit.
No big word books.
Yeah, they're novels, buddy. And you have to read the 4 or 5 of them to understand what the fuck's going on, who the villain is, all these different things.
They're Harry Potter thick books.
No, not that thick. Not that thick. I would say
Lord of the Ring thick books, or like Star Wars thick books, or
I don't know. I'm trying to see if I got some
manga thick books.
Kind of. Maybe the size of like
like the cassette
of the Dragon Ball Z cassette, like set, whatever.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit thicker.
It's a little thick.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
At least like 300 pages or something.
Nah, I'm good, bro. I won't even get past the first page.
I actually wanted to read them and stuff, but
you didn't.
No, I haven't, bro.
You should have, bro.
Shut up, you haven't.
Oh no, I wouldn't, bro. I'm gonna be honest.
You should have, buddy.
I just watched a YouTube video.
Well, here's the thing: when Halo 5 came out, I was 14, I think, or 15.
Yeah, we were.
I didn't know. Like, I wasn't reading those books and shit. I didn't even know I had to read those books to understand Halo 5.
I didn't even know there were books.
No, I get that. But anyways, I understand what you mean, bro. Like, you don't want that to happen. I definitely get it. Actually, Mario, what do you think, man?
Yeah, Mario, you're a little quiet over there in the corner, bro. What do you think,
Mario? Feel free to interject and ask questions, man. If you don't know what's going on,
even if you don't understand anything, bro, these two are experts here.
I'm
lost, bro.
I'm not asking.
I don't really know what the hell is going on myself.
I'm lost, bro.
You know what's funny?
What time is it?
Is even like he's before the pod? Danny was like, "Oh, I might not say a lot." Look at this man. Like, you're saying a lot, man. You know what I mean? But anyways, where were we? Where did we leave off? Oh, Mario. What were we discussing though before I went on that tangent?
That him saying that that returning characters and then referencing their past projects means those projects have to be canon.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Mario? Do you think would you want that? Would you like that? Would you not? Would you hate it?
Honestly,
what time is
I don't know how I feel about it.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's kind of like, since I am not really like
bringing characters to live action animation and it's video games, bro.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. I'm gonna be real. It's very ambitious and very risky.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Like, I don't think no one is doing that.
Except for Halo, they tried it.
No, not even them. Nobody's doing this.
Oh.
Where
it's like
it's the same character in live action, jumping to animation, jumping to a video game, and it's the same person.
I could have sworn, didn't Star Wars try to do that?
They have done it before.
Yeah,
but not really in a major. I mean, Ahsoka was kind of major because Ahsoka was obviously an animated character, and we saw her in live action and Mando, and then she got her own show, and then there was Battlefront 2. Where there was a little Easter egg in Battlefield 2, where this compass was in the movie that appeared in Last Jedi. Yes. So they have done it, but not crazy to how James Gunn is doing it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say I don't know how I feel about it is because, for me, for people who listen to Cape Shit, how these guys are with DC and Marvel, I'm like that with Star Wars. So I can kind of see both sides when it comes to what James Gunn is doing, because when I saw Ahsoka heavily relies on, if you've seen Clone Wars and Rebels, right?
Right.
So if you're like Hob, who hasn't seen that, his experience is going to be very much different to an experience that you and me, Danny, are going to have when we watch Ahsoka.
That's true, man.
But to me, I'm just like, I love it, because I'm just like, well, I know everything, and I finally feel like I'm being catered towards. But then I feel for Hav, because I'm just like, damn, Hav's probably going to say this is shit. And I understand why he's saying this is shit, too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I see both sides, and I'm just like,
I agree with you.
I don't know how I feel. Because I'm gonna feel like that if James Gunn does this shit. Because I'm just like, bro, I don't understand what the fuck going on.
Even if they decide to like.
And I'll watch everything. I'll watch the shows.
Like
I'll watch the animation shit. But I'm just like,
it would hinder like the common like casuals.
Yeah.
Right. Even if like in Star Wars, right? Like if they introduce Cal, which is the main guy you play in the video games,
he's gonna get introduced at some point. I know he is.
Like that's the thing is like because of how big of a character and how much
people love him.
Yeah, exactly. How much the fans. His reception of his character, which is the guy I know for Hector, right, who doesn't know, that's the guy that you play as in the Jedi games, the Star Wars Jedi,
the new
games,
ones,
right? Like even if he gets introduced in live action, only the people who have played his games would know the hype and shit. Whereas other people would be like, "Who is this guy?
Yeah,
go play the games, buddy.
What's the guy from Shameless doing in Star Wars?" And it's
that's facts,
because you don't know that's Cal Kestis, bitch. And it's like, so like that's basically what Mario's saying. Like when someone gets brought into like live action to animation or vice versa or whatever, you're gonna alienate a lot of people. Like
that's true, man. That's true.
Right? I don't know who this person is. Oh, you gotta go play the games. Fuck.
How do I play the games? You gotta get a PS5, but I don't have one. Too bad, buddy. You gotta go buy
crazy,
one.
Now you gotta watch Markiplier play and
that's
he's
crazy.
Acts like a child, man. That's crazy.
A human child.
He be screaming and shit. Watch the Red Red.
They can't do that.
I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna make the games canon, but like it's not gonna be essential shit. It's not gonna be like this video game sets up Crisis at Infinite. You know what I mean?
No way.
It's not gonna be like it's gonna be like a side
crazy.
story, like if you know type shit.
And if they do that, that would be an Elseworlds thing.
The one thing I guess I would say, I'll be honest, with you three. And for those of you listening, I won't do this just because I didn't do this for the Batman. But when the Batman came out, there was actually a book leading up to the film.
I didn't read it, dude.
How
you bought it?
To the film,
right?
Dude.
So for a bunch of people that wanted to go to
Robert
Pattinson
Batman?
Yeah, there was actually a book.
Same thing.
It was a novel, no? Was it? What was it?
Yeah, it was like a short novel. Man.
Yeah, leading up to the film, and like doing that, that's cool,
But really quickly, they also did that with Riddler, but a comic book form.
Oh yes. You
saw that?
Yeah, I did see that too.
They did a year one on the Riddler.
I did see that, bro.
Of the Batman, Matt Reeves Batman verse.
I did. See that.
I think it was last October. I think when the first issue dropped, I believe, with him.
I did see that.
Or was it this year?
No,
it was last year. Last year.
Sorry that there's not a whole lot. Yeah, I mean, y'all listening, you guys can let these two know, these three know. I mean, what do you guys think about that? I know they would love to hear your guys' opinion
about what. What do you mean?
Like if they agree, what basically would they go out of their way to watch the show, an animated show, live action, play a video game, read books to understand?
Would I?
Like the viewers. Like you guys can let these
tough,
guys
man.
know
It's a lot of work.
if you guys would do that, right?
No.
You guys can be honest in the comments.
I would, except for the book part.
Yeah, man, I'm not a huge.
I play games,
girl.
That'd be really cool if they made like comic books, bro, like comic storylines.
That would be cool, bro. Yeah.
That'd make the most sense. Not novels, I feel like comic books.
Yeah, comic books for sure, definitely.
That would be cool.
But again,
That'd
they have to be smart with it, bro. They got to treat the video games and comic books as non-essentials. Like let's say a character gets introduced. Like I want to think. Let's say we get a video game that's in James Gunn's DC universe, canonically, a video game, and that video game introduces Martian Manhunter. Ooh. And it's like, oh shit, right? And then we see Martian Manhunter again in the same universe. I don't know, let's say in like he's like a side character in Batman.
Right.
I'm just making shit up, right?
Yeah.
But like, as for people who haven't seen Martian Manhunter's first introduction in the video game, going into the Batman, they have to treat Martian Manhunter as if he's being introduced the first time again.
Right.
So that people like you who don't like want to go back and like replay or read books or whatever can see Martian Manhunter and be like, oh shit, right? That's cool. Whereas people who did play the games kind of have like that shit, he's back, right? Like it's the same voice actor, the same guy, blah blah blah, right? I feel like they got to do it like that, where even if they did introduce characters,
right?
You know what I mean?
But I feel like if they should do it like that. However, like with the little dialogue that they'll give the character, I feel like they should make little references, that's easily like visible for like those people who did play the game, right?
No,
for the
right.
example.
That's what I'm saying.
Like how they did it for Battlefront.
Yeah, bro.
That was perfect.
Because I feel like with Star Wars, right? Like trying to kind of like go side tangent. It's like with Star Wars, like that whole example that I gave with Cal Kestis, right?
Right.
Like let's say we get Cal Kestis in a live action, like we get a fucking Ahsoka season 2, right? And Cal Kestis came out. Sure, people who played the games are gonna be like, "Oh shit, it's Cal," right? But what about the fans that have not played the games and don't know who that is? Cal Kestis can't just come on the show like, "Hey, what up, guys? I'm Cal Kestis," and like that's it. And like fans are expected to know who he is. I feel like the writers have to kind of be like, okay, there are people out there, Star Wars fans, who don't play the games. So this is going to be his introduction to a lot of fans who don't play video games. So let's write this character as if it's his first introduction.
Right.
So how do you do that? Well, just simple dialogue shit, right? You have Ahsoka be like, "So who are you?" "Oh, my name is Cal Kestis, and I'm a Jedi. And you know, I actually helped taking down the Empire when like it was the Sister Inquisitor, blah blah blah." And kind of like he just kind of gives a recap.
Yeah.
Fans who played the game are like, "I know what the fuck he's talking about because I played those games.
I took him down, bro.
Right.
That was me.
Exactly." And people who haven't played the games are like, "Okay, now I know who he is because he just explained it."
Right.
So you cater to both by just adding little dialogue and shit.
Right.
That's what they have to do with this DC universe. Like with the whole Martian Manhunter thing. He gets introduced in the video game. And then he comes back again in, I don't know, Wonder Woman show or whatever. It caters to both fans. You got to be like, you know, Martian Manhunter could just show up. And people who played the game, like, "Oh, dude, I saw him when he got introduced in, you know, the Justice League video game or whatever."
Yeah.
But then fans who didn't play those games, just watch movies and shit, could be like, "Oh, sweet, like, it's Martian Manhunter." And you don't alienate them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like they have to do. If they want to include video games and shit like that. That's when I say comic books and video games can't be essentials. It can't be like you had to watch this video. You had to play this video game to understand what the fuck going on here.
I got a random question.
What's up?
Yeah, go ahead.
Completely off topic.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about how you guys were talking about, or how you said that, chapter 1, right? What it's called?
Gods and Monsters, yeah.
Yeah, this chapter. You said James Gunn said, "This is not how it's ending. This is just the first half or whatever the fuck," right?
Yeah.
I just thought, what if the ending of this chapter was the Justice League movie?
I think we talked about that.
We did?
I think we did. I'm
Like
not sure.
the end would be Justice League?
Yeah,
the
like
first
what
one.
if the like last project in chapter 1 is like Justice League? Kind of like what Marvel did with Phase 1.
I don't remember talking about this.
No?
No, I don't think so.
Because I remember Danny being like, "I'm not trying to see another Justice League movie."
Yeah.
Oh,
we did talk
yeah,
about it. We did
okay.
talk about it.
But that wouldn't be for
I'm-
years from now, wouldn't it be?
I feel
Technically, yeah.
it's because technically speaking, bro, if everybody's already introduced, how do we know they aren't already how do we know they aren't already a group? You know, but they're just doing their own little things in their films.
If I'm being honest with you,
That's my one thing. I don't know if he answered it, like, or if anybody asked that question, but it's just I don't know what events have happened and what events are yet to happen.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like since we saw the hot mess that was the original Justice League in the old whatever the fuck you called their universe, that you don't have to do like an origins of the Justice League. You can have a Justice League movie where maybe they're already set up, like it's like year 2 Justice League, some shit like that. Or would that be a bad idea?
No, because that Justice League movie didn't introduce Flash, Aquaman, or Cyborg prior. They just kind of showed up in the movie.
They teased them at Batman versus Superman,
Right, with little
hash
security
hash
footage
drive,
bullshit, right? But like that wouldn't make that wouldn't be a good idea, bro. Just because like the failure, the fault that Warner Brothers did with that first Justice League movie, right? Not Snyder Cut, the first one, is that we didn't really get an origin story, nor did we have any prior knowledge to this universe's Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg.
Yep.
So they just kind of get introduced, and the big number one flaw, is that the movie has to assume that the fans know who these characters are.
Right.
And for everyone in this room, like, yeah, we do, but just because I know that's Cyborg from the comics, I can't say that's Cyborg from the comics.
What's it called?
agree.
When I say that,
You know,
when I say Justice League is going to be the best thing, I'm assuming the second half of his plans is the rest of the origins or not origins. I don't know what the fuck y'all want to see of those Justice League characters.
No, because
I'm assuming by the time I'm saying this with the mindset that they already have their own shit.
It's not that we need an origin story, right? It's just that we need a story with them, right, and time for us to
develop and
a connection with.
That
was some bar shit right there. Damn me up, bro.
What?
What I just said, bro. We don't need an origin story. We just need a story.
We just need your story.
You said too earlier.
Yeah, bro.
Dude, we're too good, man.
Nah.
But yeah, okay.
Not my bad.
Man.
Dumb question.
No, it's not a dumb question.
No, it's not a dumb question.
It's not a dumb question.
It
But
is.
like, I feel like
I don't think it was a dumb question.
No,
I just don't. I don't remember we talked about that.
I'm just
no, I
but
guess we did.
I feel like
Yeah.
no, they can't do that. Like, we have to at least get their movies or something, a story,
Right.
like you said, right? Because like, if I go and like watch the Justice League movie and it's like, oh yeah, that's Aquaman, and it's like, well, what the fuck do I know about this Aquaman guy if I haven't even seen his story, or like what he went through? Like, can you imagine?
And keep in mind, like, there's more people who are like casual moviegoers than people who like read comics. If we're gonna be honest, man, many people don't even read the comics, man. I'm gonna be honest. And honestly,
What if their
people,
introduction to the Flash is what they see in the movies, and then he doesn't get his own movie or anything, and he's
Yeah.
already in a team up movie?
Yeah,
They're gonna be like, okay, who are these guys? What the fuck?
right.
yeah.
And that's why a lot of people. Is it funny? Do you think it's funny how a lot of casual moviegoers? I'm talking more casual than Danny. I feel like Danny's more advanced. Like, I'm talking the casuals, people who watch nothing but movies, like the MCU movies.
I got you.
Do you understand now why?
Like my sister.
Sure. Okay. Okay.
She likes Marvel. Like, she likes to watch all the Marvel shit, but she ain't like us, man.
Exactly.
Not even close.
No. Yeah. So do you understand why a lot of casuals say, "Oh, dude, Marvel's better than DC"? Mm-hmm. Because they see the movies, and technically speaking, like, they introduce characters before teaming them up.
Yeah.
Now you throw them into DC, and it's like, okay, Superman, all right, that's cool. So, like, what's the next movie? Well, you got Batman, Lex Luthor, Wonder Woman, Doomsday. Fuck, like, who are these people?
Right.
And the third movie comes out as Justice League. No, it was like Wonder Woman, and then Justice League, and it's like, okay, like, all these characters are coming out of nowhere. What the fuck? And like, that's why the casuals get kind of turned off.
Right.
The fact that these new characters are getting introduced in the team up movie, that they're like, this is too confusing. Marvel's better. Why do you think you hear so many people say that? Why do you think you hear so many people say, oh, Marvel's better? Mm-hmm. Because these motherfuckers didn't know how to structure their shit. That's where James Gunn needs to be like. He's got to be like. Tiene que poner listo. He needs to be smart, bro. Like, he needs to know we got to introduce these characters before we start teaming them up and shit.
The one thing that I do like about Gunn's position is that he's not competing with anybody but himself right now.
Yeah.
And he's competing with the, I guess you could say, like, the love that, you know, us fans are going to have with his films. Because, you know, if you look at the prior DC universe, if that's even what you want to call that, you know, you know, anybody who is at an age where they can kind of understand how business works, it was just all business. It was marketing. It was a business move. They were just solely seeing how much money Marvel was making, or Disney was bringing in from the successful launch from Iron Man 1 all the way to the first Avengers.
Yes.
So DC was like, you know what, bro? Superman did Raw. You know, Superman did okay.
Yeah.
We got to jump on this shit. You know, so fuck you. Just make the second film and our shitty universe.
Set it all up.
Fucking throw Batman in there with Superman, man. You know what? Bro, I think we got a girl, you know, that can compete with Scarlet Witch. Fuck it, man. Throw in Wonder Woman
in that hoe.
You know?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Throw in Wonder Woman. Fuck it. Put in 2 villains instead of 1.
Yeah.
That should definitely get the crowd rowdy. You know?
Rowdy.
But little did they know their shit was going to flop.
It got him rowdy,
You know,
but in a negative
But
way.
I really do like the position that Gunn is in because, like I said, he's not competing with Marvel anymore because Marvel is slowly dying by themselves. They're kind of sinking. You know, they're doing that to themselves. So Gunn literally is just competing with himself. And right now he's kind of, you know, I guess I could still say I'm someone who still doesn't believe in what he's trying to build and the universe he's trying to make. I can still say I'm a part of that. you know, because my feelings from when we last had this discussion about his timeline, they haven't really changed. It's just more so of like, you know what, I'm gonna kind of shy away from the whole like giving him BS and kind of just wait and see. And if I like it and if it surprises me, I'll admit that. But if it doesn't, and I kind of like, my standards are like, you know, it's a typical DC film. You know, nothing's changed. Just a new face, you know, in charge. That's it. You know. But yeah, man, I think that's just that. You know, he's just not competing with himself, and he's just competing for like the loyalty of fans.
Interesting.
That's really it. I think that's it. You know.
Yeah. Because he even said in that podcast with Michael Rosenbaum, he's like, "Oh, we're not gonna copy Marvel. Like, we're gonna just go about this universe the way it should be.
Yeah.
Like, tones will change of every project corresponding to who the characters are gonna be and stuff like that."
Because that's one of the things that I really want to see out of his universe is that, bro, make your movies not gory. I'm not asking for blood or whatever, but all I'm asking for is the actual filter of certain films. Like a Batman film should be a dark,
gritty,
menacing, gritty film versus a Superman film should be a more colorful,
more
you know, like
optimistic film.
Yeah, optimistic.
Whereas all these Marvel projects just feel the same because all of them got comedy and all of them are filmed brightly.
Now
all of them have green screens.
Right now,
CGI.
yeah.
You know, just feel the same.
Right now, yeah. You know,
and there is no separation. And I also, another thing about the MCU, bro, that I've noticed is I'm kind of getting exhausted of watching these MCU projects, whether it's Disney Plus shows or movies. I'm getting exhausted watching these projects with that thought in the back of my mind, like, okay, this show or movie, whatever I'm watching, right? Like, I was literally sitting through Thor: Love and Thunder with that mind of like, okay, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for dialogue, a scene, an end credit, a post credit scene. I'm waiting for something that's somehow going to set up Avengers or Kang. I'm exhausted with that.
Thor: Love and Thunder was so shit. I know I always say this a lot, man. I really hate that movie.
I know. We all did.
I really hate that movie.
Yeah.
But
you know what I mean, though?
You know, I get you, man.
Like, you know, like, I'm just getting exhausted watching these projects, like, waiting to see what the setup is. And I feel like Marvel needs to, like, kind of take a step back and try to let these projects be, like, its own thing. It doesn't always have to set up something. Sometimes something isolated can just work fine on its own.
That's Echo.
And that's what they're doing with
It,
Echo.
well, maybe
with the Marvel Spotlight
maybe
situation.
I don't know, because what if Echo, like, sets up, like, I can understand if it sets up Daredevil Born Again, but I'm just kind of like, even if it does, like, I wish it could just stay like its own thing, like
a one and done thing.
Yeah, because like like for me, like even Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, her show, I was watching it like, okay, like, I'm sure there's a post credit scene or something that's gonna set up Kang. Or something, you know what I mean? I was watching Eternals, like, okay, something's gonna set up Kang, or something's gonna set up the Multiverse Saga. I was watching Doctor Strange Multiverse Event, like, with the same thought. I just wish I could just go into a project and, like, not have to look for that, because then what happens? You finish Kamala Khan's show, you finish Miss Marvel, and like nothing set up Kang. Right. But the thing is, you were preconceived, kind of like expecting it too, which logically it wouldn't make sense.
Right.
For Black Widow to set up Kang, right? It's like her solo movie. Why would it? But because the MCU kind of popularized this trend of all the movies connect in some way, shape, or form, we kind of are left with this kind of preconceived notion of like,
how does it connect?
This is gonna connect to something.
And like, what's the end credit?
Exactly. Right. And I'm kind of exhausted from that because it just, I feel like I expect too much, and then it sets up like either nothing or something. The post-credit scenes are stupid.
Yeah.
Like, and then you're just kind of like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's what James Gunn needs to do.
It's with that, bro, and also just the mix of like the amount of the quantity.
Yeah.
Like the amount of projects that we're getting.
And the comedy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to. This is we were talking about James Gunn DCU, man. We're jumping into Marvel.
I know,
but stay on.
Well, yeah, but that's because I'm connecting it.
No, I know. I just want to because I feel like Danny's going to
No, I wasn't gonna say nothing. It's just, you know, like the thing that Gunn has to. I hope that Gunn realizes is that. I hope he takes a sweet fucking time building this, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Because the thing that kind of like the reason why Marvel kind of dug their own grave is that I know I've told you this through text. I don't know if you remember. Is that I never wanted them to set up Kang after Thanos, because my thing is like, bro, like, you know, there's so much shit going on Earth, and this connects with like, you know, James Gunn thing too, because this is something that I also fear, you know. Is that with Marvel, like right after Thanos, you know, they immediately are trying to like explore out in outer space and like fucking different like timelines and like, you know, like multiple realities and stuff, right? Yeah. And my thing is like, bro, like, you know, there's a lot of fucking people out here that don't understand any of that shit. Yeah. And the way that you guys are going about it, you know, like you're not helping those people, right? Mm-hmm. Unless you force them to read books, right? And like the thing with Gunn too is, the one thing that kind of does scare me when I heard his chapter is gods and monsters, right?
That's what it's called.
My thing is this, because this universe is already like structured and everybody kind of is aware of each other, I just have this fear where we kind of will be lost, right? Already like some movies in, some shows in, to the point where everything's going on Earth, then out of nowhere we kind of like jump outside of Earth and we're like exploring outer space, like actually looking for fucking gods, right? Like we're like in the first half of the chapter, it's here on Earth looking for monsters and fighting all these monsters. Then out of nowhere, you know, with the Green Lantern stuff, that's a reason why I'm not looking forward to it, because if everything that you're telling me is that, all right, it's gonna mostly take place on Earth, but you're gonna be shooting us up there to an outer space, it's like, you know, like calm the fuck down, bro. Like there's a lot of. What?
I'm glad Danny brought this up. Like, I understand your concern. I'll let you finish your point, but I think I have a counter argument.
Oh no, I'm almost done. I was just gonna say, there's a lot of story I feel that should be done first here on Earth. You know, before you start throwing us up there, you know, with the whole gods and stuff. Sure. You know. But yeah, go ahead.
So I understand what he's saying, but I think I have a counter argument to that, and it ties into what I said earlier. This motherfucker.
Fucking daddy.
They do that, dude. Crazy. They do that in the HRV pod, where I'll just be like, well, I don't know about that. Ooh, and they start going crazy. I'm just like,
crazy. It's funny.
And they start yelling Mario and Hector, and I'm just like, I gotta wait for them to shut up.
Right.
Just because, like,
oh man, that's
I'm
so
just like,
funny.
Okay, I gotta wait.
Yeah,
we do that stuff. We stand up. I stand up.
Oh, yeah, I bet you do, motherfucker. But go ahead, Hob. I want to hear this, bro.
So he's like, you know, I feel like we're just expanding too fast. Like, we're going from Earth to space and all this bullshit. And I can understand if he thinks, like, the universe is kind of accelerating way too fast by just jumping between back to Earth to galaxy to back to Earth to now multiverse, like what James Gunn's kind of doing by introducing the lanterns and all this shit. But kind of tying back to what I said earlier, where I'm like, the MCU is kind of like cursed by this need that a post-credit scene or something has to connect to something, because people kind of like the idea that, like, whoa, a cinematic universe where, like, the movies are connected and stuff like that, because they're all in the same universe. But then, you know, the MCU kind of amplified it to 11 by, instead of just being like they're connected because it's the same universe, now every post-credit scene has to connect to something. Like, this movie connects to this show, but then that show connects to this other show, and then that other show connects back to this movie, and then this other movie right here connects to that movie too, and it's like, it all just feels like way too much connection bullshit. Yeah. That I feel like with James Gunn, if he wants to explore space and all these projects, again, like what I said, if he doesn't go that MCU route where he feels the need to connect everything, can't projects like Green Lantern, which takes place in space, if it was isolated, its own thing, no post-credit scene that sets up Brave and the Bold. If it was like its own thing, couldn't people just enjoy the show being like, oh, okay, now this is a DC project, but it takes place in space? Nothing more convoluted or crazy. No connections to the Earth world. No post-credit scene that sets up Paradise Lost. Like, nothing like that. Like, if it's just kind of like its own isolated story show, can't people kind of like it like that? Be like, okay, like, we have our shows and movies that take place on Earth, and then like that one takes place in space. Oh, okay, cool. But like, it's not like what we mentioned earlier, where like these shows and movies play as essentials to what sets up Crisis on Infinite Earths or the next Justice League movie. Like, as long as they just kind of treat them as their own projects and keep their tone and their writing in check, Kind of like how Danny said, like a Batman movie should be grounded and gritty. Superman movie should be colorful and optimistic. As long as they keep their tones and writing in check and they keep them all isolated and don't connect them till later on, not have a post-credit scene that connects everything like that, I feel like we should be fine. Even the casuals can get behind it, I feel like.
If you guys don't remember, James Gunn himself, he did say that Green Lantern's story was actually going to play a big part into like the bigger story of like the universe of the first chapter.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I know. No, I know what Hector's talking about, but like then again, I don't know. That's just wording. I
just by you saying that, it scares me more. But I like what Javi was saying. You know, I can respect that.
Yeah,
my thing too, bro. My thing only about what you said is just that if he ends up doing that, but then they start name dropping, you know, like other cities that other heroes are associated with, or like other heroes' names, I feel like at that point, like there's no need to give them like if
John like what's the rundown? Because like they did say like Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart will be overlooking Earth as like their guardians from space, right? From space threats. Just be like, oh yeah, I took a like. Do you mean like if they were having a conversation, like let's say they flew around the world just to make sure shit's cool, right?
Yeah. Just like
and like let's say like.
Let's go visit Gotham, you know.
And they'll be like, let's
go see what's up with the bat.
Cool. Something like that.
Yeah, or like, let's go see what's up with the bat. Or like, let's go to.
It's like, where's Hal? What the fuck? Like, where's Hal? You should have been here 5 minutes ago. He's like, hey man, sorry, I thought I saw something in Central City. What's going on? Name drops like that.
Yeah, or like, bro, I just saw some like. I just saw some lightning bolt like run by me type shit, you know.
Because if they're just little name drops of like the city, that's kind of cool. Like, oh wow, like the city, right? We're gonna see Flash soon, maybe. But if they name dropped like, oh sorry, I was talking to Barry. That's a little too much. I feel like now you're just, that's again like you're just accelerating, setting up the connected bullshit too much.
Okay.
I feel like name dropping a city would be like whatever. It does make sense. It's the DC universe. It makes sense to exist. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like if they were just like, oh my bad, bro, I was talking to Barry and Wally and Bart. Motherfucker, what? It's like you already just set up 3 Flashes in this universe. Like, yo, chill.
Right.
Like, cowgirl. This is the 4th project in the universe.
The one thing too that I just hope that doesn't happen to Gunn is that if his universe is successful, it doesn't get to him the way it got to Marvel. Because like the thing that the reason why I say that is because, you know, Disney, those motherfuckers are some money grabbing hungry motherfuckers, right? Dude, yeah. So now they are
motherfuckers re-released No Way Home twice.
Now they are, right?
Remember they released it that second time with like the extended cut bullshit
of only 14 extra minutes, right?
And like half of them were bullshit.
Yeah, it was nothing extra. Bro, the elevator scene, I believe, right? It was the elevator scene
where they're all in the elevator,
and not saying a word, just chilling.
It's just awkward silence. Like it's a funny moment.
Bro. Yeah.
That's funny.
You know, bro, yeah. So he's right, bro. Disney, all they give a fuck about is the cash, bro.
I just hope
that's the thing. James Gunn, he's not about that.
Thank you.
No. Hold on. Okay, sorry, look. The reason why I'm saying that is because, you know, one, I don't want Warner Bros. Kind of like butting into James Gunn's thing. But the second thing is I don't want him paying too much attention to the fans and kind of trying to deliver what the fans want instead of what he wants, how Kevin Feige did. Because literally, bro, after Thanos, it's all been going down to shit. And because
with the
because Kevin,
there's some still cool shit that came out.
And because Kevin kind of set the bar super fucking high for themselves, right? For Marvel. And now Disney expects every fucking film to be at that same standard as Endgame, Infinity War, or, you know, Civil War. You know, I feel like that's why they're focused so much on quality. So much on quantity than on quality, is because they're just trying to put out so much shit that kind of like Endgame levels at the same, you know, how would you say that?
I think I know what you're trying to say. Endgame was the highest grossing movie of all time. Made $2 billion in the box office. It was a once-in-a-lifetime thing that happened in the superhero genre. It was literally catching lightning in a bottle. That Marvel Studios is trying to recreate that with every project they put out. They're trying to make movies like The Eternals feel like Endgame in its grand scope and its end credit scenes that connect to everything. They're trying to make Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness to feel like Endgame level. They might also want to make the Marvels feel like Endgame level because they kind of want to go back and capture what the hype was that Endgame carried to rack in that money. Problem is the reason why Endgame was so beautifully crafted was because it was the result of 11 years of setup of movies and stuff that kind of made the payoff worth it. So what's the point of making a movie like The Eternals Endgame quality if we haven't even connected with these characters for 11 years?
Yeah.
That's where they're fucking up because they think that, oh shit, look how much money Endgame made. Look how much the fans loved it and hyped it up and all this bullshit, right? Let's make them do that for every movie and TV show we put out on theaters and Disney Plus. And it's like you can't because like we haven't had time to build the build up, like, you know what I mean, to kind of like build up for years and stuff. There can't be hype and stuff like that. You know what I mean? The only exception being No Way Home. That's only because they brought back returning actors from previous Spider-Man franchises, right? But that being the exclusion, all the other projects, if you notice, like Quantumania, the whole thing where like they all raid Kang's like palace and like they all come in, Ant-Man becomes Giant Man and he's like tearing down the towers, and then Kang comes in and fights everyone and like the ants take him. It's so fucking grand scope that it feels like they're just trying to recreate that last battle of Endgame, the Battle of Earth, for every movie and every project.
Yeah.
And the fucked up thing is, in a kind of like an ironic way, trying so hard to make these projects feel like the biggest thing ever, like Endgame was, make them all feel not so special. If everything's a big grand scope, like high stake bullshit in every movie, well then, what are really high stakes?
Yeah.
If they all feel the same, you know? If every movie is a world-ending threat, and then it's just kind of like you're kind of over it after a while. It kind of becomes stale.
Yeah.
That's, I think, what you're trying to say.
What,
this motherfucker worded it all perfectly, bro. He basically took the words.
So that's what you're trying to say, basically.
The motherfucker said more. He said basically that, but more. Yeah. That's literally it, bro. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's.
And you don't want that for DC.
I just don't want that for DC, bro.
And you know what,
especially not
though?
for Gunn. Bro.
I also want to say this: James Gunn is lucky as fuck, bro. He's the luckiest motherfucker because he's literally watching where the Marvel's going, and like how people are kind of like turning on it. That he has the chance to be like, all right, I'm not gonna make those mistakes because he's seeing it, he's witnessing it. Now he knows what to avoid.
Yeah,
and that kind of gives James Gunn's DC universe an advantage over the MCU if done right. If he gets the right writers and directors to take on his projects. If he's himself not working on it, like Superman Legacy, he confirmed season 2 of Peacemaker. He's going to start working on that once Legacy is done.
Yeah.
Like, if it's projects that he's not working on, he's like, well, I can't work on everything. I can't work on Creatures Commandos and Waller and Batman and all. So I got to, like, hire people to do that shit for me to set up the universe. As long as he sets up, he hires the right directors and writers and actors, he should be straight.
And I think he will, because to tie it back, we said that we already established at Disney they're money-hungry motherfuckers, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is with James Gunn, he's not necessarily like that. And because Warner Bros., Warner Discovery, right, gave him full creative control, I think
fire.
That's fire,
of course.
number one, right?
Like, hey, man, what do we know?
Exactly.
You set it up. You've read the DC comics.
Exactly.
You got an eye for filmmaking and all that shit.
And he has a
Go crazy.
He has a track record of success already in the Marvel universe with the things that he's done with Guardians.
Yeah, yep.
True.
And because of that, dude, I think because James Gunn is like I said, he reads the comics. He's very passionate about it as well. He's not just in it for the money and stuff. He actually wants to provide an actual, like, compelling stories that people will actually like. So that's why those are the two reasons why I think he will find, like, the right actors and directors. Because to him, it's not just a bullshit money grab.
No.
You know what I mean? To appeal to common agendas.
Again,
that we're seeing with the Marvel universe. Right?
Again, I keep bringing it up. You know, again, I feel like people need to go back and watch that podcast he did with Michael Rosenbaum.
Oh, yeah.
The Inside View, because he clears
I haven't
everything
seen
up.
it, but I'll probably
he clears
check it
everything up. He says, like, you know, we're not about quantity. Like, we don't want to push projects out. We want to try to take our time and, like, try to write the characters the way they're supposed to and stuff like that. And, like, that basically just confirms, like, he understands that, like, he doesn't want to just kind of, like, write characters a certain way for the pleasing of the fan. Like, he needs to make sure that it stays true to what the overall vibe of the show is.
And he understands that certain characters have certain tones. and that he's not going to copy and paste what Marvel's doing, where every single movie is just comedy bullshit. He understands that certain characters will have that, some characters won't, and he understands those tone differences. And he actually said, Superman Legacy, it's not going to be nothing like my previous projects, like the comedy wise and everything. That it's going to be a completely different tone, and I understand that.
That's good. Let me ask you guys a question real quick.
Yeah.
It took Marvel how many years to set up Endgame to complete the Infinity Saga? 11.
Damn, 11 years.
So you guys, you think that in these next 11 years, hopefully if you guys are still continuing to do this, right?
Right. Let's see where we're at in 11 years.
And hopefully I can be a part of that episode. You guys think even if I'm not a part of it, you guys think you two will compare the 11 years that Gunn had versus the first 11 years that Marvel Studios had, and try to see at that point what definitive studio is actually, better than the other?
Interesting.
Because to say that Marvel is on top right now, those motherfuckers aren't even on top of themselves. Those motherfuckers are slowly crumbling, bro. Those motherfuckers ain't on top of shit.
What does that mean? What does it even mean? They're not even on top of themselves.
Whatever you want it to mean, girl.
Exactly, don't make sense. Just like Marvel. Right now.
Exactly. Proves my point.
They're not even on top of themselves.
What are they on top of this?
Get on top of this.
On top of what, Daddy?
Just pointing at the air. That's funny. Okay, so you're basically saying that if you think that...
Yeah, you guys think you guys
will compare the first 11 years of Marvel
to
first 11 years of DC, and if we'll come to a conclusion that
like
one studio did it better.
Who had the better 11 years?
I think... That's an interesting question, man, just because... And I know you're going to hate my answer, right? You're going to hate my answer. I don't know. Right?
No, I don't care.
Because before
each their own, bro.
Because before the pod, we were discussing if you had which type of if you could choose what type of superpowers you could have, what would it be? And then you said, I don't want you to give me that bullshit answer of I don't know because I like them all or blah blah blah. Don't you remember, you bitch?
Yeah, I said I would.
You said
I
that.
would like.
Before didn't I say that?
Before we started,
he said that.
You said that. I don't want to hear that bullshit answer. So that's why I said, you're going to hate this answer.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Right? I don't know because I like them both equally.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And also what James Gunn is doing in his DC universe is vastly different than what Marvel
Yes, exactly. I was about to say that.
Yeah, because Marvel, what they do is they introduce the heroes and then they team them up. And then they gave them all sequels and then teamed them up again.
Right.
James Gunn's not really doing that. He's not.
It's it's a different plan. He said himself.
So then how about this? Do you guys think you guys will come back in 11 years and say who provided better fan service between the two? Let me ask you that question.
That's an interesting.
If everything goes good for Gunn, or if he can do it sooner than 11 years,
That's kind of hard, just because. If we're talking about fan service, I would say because of James Gunn and his knowledge and the way he the stories that he brings in and characters he introduces, the people that most likely will know those stories and characters are people who actually are into the comic book world, right? So if you're talking about that fan service, I think yes, right? People I remember when Booster Gold was announced, people were and the people who actually read comics a lot, they're yo, they were hyped as fuck. You know what I mean? But then people who are more casual side, like Mario or whatever, they're okay, cool. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it just
I actually know Booster Gold.
You actually know him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because of the show.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, okay. I didn't know. I was just throwing you an example, for people that don't know.
Right.
So I feel it's just two different fan service. Because for example, if let's say, for example, Booster Gold. If Booster Gold comes out, let's say I read the comics and I love Booster Gold. Yo, it's lit. It's lit, right? Yo, this shit did lit. Oh my god, they did this, they did that. Oh my god, it's so fire. But then a regular casual moviegoer is yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty cool, man. But they're not gonna be freaked out as I am. Because I'm the one that would read the comics. So I feel it's just two different types of fans. that makes sense.
Right. I got
the people that just fuck with the movies, and then there's people that fuck with both. That they like the comic books and they like the fucking movies. You know what I mean? I hope that answered your question a bit.
I don't know, bro.
I don't know, man. You lost me.
Maybe I can.
No, low key, I kind of wasn't really.
Maybe I can ask you that question in 11 years, Barber.
I'm gonna put a timer right now.
Also, this is kind of like random.
Yeah.
What's up?
Just a question for everyone in the room. Like, let's be real, right? Let's be real.
Okay.
Chris Pratt's gonna play Booster Gold, right?
You think so?
Come on. What other actor fits that character better?
I can see
James
that.
Gunn said he's not opposed to bringing Marvel actors into his DC universe.
Right.
Shit.
Let's be real. I feel like the person that fits that character best. Let's be real.
I can see that.
Also, I slightly kind of want to put it on tape in case it happens.
In case it happens,
we called
it. Or you did. You called it.
But yeah, I have this feeling. I've had a feeling for a while.
I wish we had it on tape that I called out DC Studios.
That's facts.
Do we not have that on tape?
All outside the pod.
We didn't have that on tape, right?
It was all out pod, bro. Outside.
But y'all can vouch for me.
Maybe.
Nah, man. I can't let that slide.
I'll be in the
I called it out.
He'll be trying to buy DC Studios, and I'll be in the courtroom like, hey, man. It's been a while.
I think I heard.
Remember. I think I was tired that day.
No, man. I called it, man. I fucking called it.
Hey,
that's what they
man.
needed to do, and that's what they did. I'm gonna meet James Gunn and be like, yo, James Gunn, man. Like,
I own this bitch, not you. I came
for
up
real.
with it.
You know, I came up with this first, right?
Oh, really, buddy?
Really,
Yes,
buddy.
really.
Where's the proof? Fuck. I don't got it on tape, man. Let me bring in Hav. Hav, tell him. Hey,
I got
man,
two
honestly-
witnesses behind me.
Honestly, man, I don't even know.
Security, get this man out of here.
It's funny.
I'm running this shit. Anyways,
Yeah, man.
but yeah, so
what's the next segment?
Yeah, what do we got?
So the next
we got?
talking
I'm
point,
fucking dead.
like, you know what's funny?
Mario's dead right now. Look at
I
Mario.
know, but Mario, just go to sleep.
Mario
man.
look like Assassin's Creed, man, right now.
Motherfucker's trying to be
got-
Ezio Altitaire. What's
Auditore?
Auditorium.
I don't know his last name.
You got a
It's
Mario
thought
got
it
a
was
hood on,
Altitaire.
bro. Huh?
Al-
It's Ezio Auditore or some shit.
Hey, no, it's Ezio something. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Motherfucker,
look
you
at
don't
you.
even know.
Motherfucker, you don't even know what planet we on. What you mean? You don't even know what planet
Is
we
it Ezio Altair or something like that?
Motherfucker,
No, we're talking about Altair's.
Altair's the first
Yeah.
one.
Ah, my bad.
He's the raw motherfucker, the
Yeah.
OG.
Yeah, the OG one, yeah.
Don't disrespect him like that, all right?
I'm sorry, bro. I know
You're
it's
not
Ezio
sorry.
something,
Okay,
though,
so-
but I am-
What's it called? You know what's funny is I had a bunch
up?
of talking points
Yeah.
that I wanted to get to,
Uh-huh.
and like,
Did we cover them all?
yeah, bro.
No
Like,
way.
Not all of them, but like
Oh.
scrolling through, like, what's the next talking point? I'm like, oh wait, we already talked about this, and I didn't even scroll this far down yet. But we like just kind of like, because we're raw, I guess.
We just bruised.
we
just
basically
breezed
went
through it.
over this shit. Like, not all of it, but like, I'm
Yeah.
surprised because like I'm
Right.
right, because you can see my phone, right? I'm right
Yeah.
here. I'm like, okay, we left off here, so I'm trying to scroll down. I'm like, wait, we talked about that, and I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I didn't even get to read this. We just kind of talked about it.
I like that.
But yeah, man. So here we talked about all this shit that I got written down on my notes. Another thing I wanted to point out is, okay, so James Gunn, right?
Yeah.
Canon starts with Creature Commandos. Blue Beetle, Peacemaker, Waller are coming back in my universe. We now know what's canon, starting with Creature Commandos. We know unconfirmingly Peacemaker, Suicide Squad movie, Blue Beetle are also canon technically because the actor's coming back. Now that we have a deeper kind of understanding of where the canon is, what's going on, what lies, what's true and untrue, at this moment right now, are y'all still hyped for Aquaman 2?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Hey man,
Danny,
I'm going to see
Danny,
that
I
film,
understand.
bro.
yeah,
It's for
'cause-
it's
'cause
for
it's
my
your favorite
fan service,
No,
bro.
of course.
You know,
Right.
I mean, I don't care how shitty it does at the box office. I don't give a fuck if it makes me jump out of my seat, bro. I'll just be happy I get to see my guy in an Aquaman suit for the very last time.
Before gets axed, bro.
And what's funny is not that many motherfuckers can say the same thing about their favorite superhero. That's all I'm gonna say, Muff.
wait, about what?
What are you talking about?
Because ever since I would tell people in high school, like they would ask me, Danny, you like Spider-Man, but what about DC, motherfucker? You like Batman? You like the Joker? You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I fuck with the Joker, but my favorite superhero is Aquaman.
Laughing at him. You swimming with the fishes.
They be like,
That's crazy.
they cook the fuck out of me, bro.
Like, what would they say?
You don't even want to know.
Because I don't even remember.
Because I don't remember. but they cook the shit out of me. They're like, that motherfucker talks to fish.
What a predator.
They were like, bro, they were like, that makes sense because you look like a fish.
What the fuck? You look like a fish. You look like a bubble
man.
guppy.
So they'd always they'd always talk down to my guy,
they're
man.
They're sleeping on Aquaman.
They're sleeping on him, bro.
Damn, bro.
But my guy
That's
got
crazy.
2 films. How many does Superman got? What about Batman, bro?
I mean, Superman
how many
got a lot of
Wonder
films.
Woman got? Oh shit.
But we're talking about like the current shit.
Oh,
right?
current.
Because let's be honest, your little high school friends would never go back and watch Christopher Reeves.
Nah.
We're talking about the current shit.
Yeah,
right?
the current shit.
Yeah.
That's facts, man.
I wanna
How many
know how
films
they
does the
roast
Flash
him.
have?
That's facts.
Where's
Batman never got his movie.
Where's
I'm so
Cyborg's
pissed,
film
bro.
at, bro?
That's facts,
That's facts,
man.
bro. Batman
So like
never
I
got
said,
his
if
movie. I'm so
Aquaman's
pissed,
film
bro.
flops or not, I don't care, bro. It's gonna be fan service to me, man.
I know, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. I don't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Aquaman 2. I don't give a fuck.
Is there a trailer? I don't even know there's a trailer.
Yeah, dude.
This motherfucker. There's 2.
Oh, me, man. Biggest fan ever. I'm my mama. I'm my mama. Biggest fan ever. No other superhero got it like mine. By the way, is there a trailer? Like, what is this guy?
There's 2, I think.
When did it
Isn't
come
there 2
out?
Trailers? Dude, they've
Big
come
came
out
out
over
like
the
a
last few
month ago,
months.
man.
Oh shit! Doesn't the film come out next month?
Yes.
Yeah,
When?
December 2020th.
You want to see the trailer?
Oh,
After-
we'll watch
After
it.
the-
comes
I
out on
mean,
my
Actually,
birthday.
I was gonna mention something from the trailer, but I guess I don't want to spoil it. I want you to
Nah, I
see
don't
it.
care. I'm gonna watch the trailer regardless. Just say it.
Yeah, what is it?
What is it, girl? Is it Amber Heard?
Well, no. But it was gonna be more so like, oh, what did you think of this? But like, he hasn't seen it, so how can I ask him that?
Oh, gotcha.
what I mean?
Yeah, man, we've got 2 trailers.
Damn.
But here's
Does
the
it look
thing.
raw,
I'm gonna be real.
though?
I'm not really hyped for Aquaman like that for a few reasons. One, we know that it's not going to be canon to the DC universe, so I'm not going to give a fuck as much.
And that's why. Oh, we forgot to mention that. Oh, sorry, Hav. Finish your point, then I'll mention mine.
Oh, I was also going to say the other reason why I'm not hyped is because it's been confirmed by like reliable sources that because nobody knew what the fuck was going on with DC, like with James Gunn taking over, like because like Warner Bros got bought out and like all these different higher ups got replaced by different people, and like we're looking for someone to take over DC Studios. They went with that one dude, and then he left, and then James Gunn, and like all this bullshit, like what was happening behind the scenes. Aquaman 2 went through 3 different cuts and reshoots. Like
Yeah.
this.
I did know that.
Like they did a bunch of like they were 3 different cuts. Like at one point Ben Affleck Batman was supposed to cameo in the movie, but like now that like this movie's not canon to the DC universe, like is he still in it or did they cut him out? You know, with the whole bullshit with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, did they cut the movie to make less scenes with her in it?
Yeah.
You know, and there's all that bullshit. Do you guys believe those that news that broke out about Aquaman 2? Like all the beef that was going on behind the scenes between Jason Momoa and Amber Heard. Did you hear about that?
Yeah,
No,
I
bro.
did.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, so apparently there was beef.
Mario's
going on
laughing.
behind the scenes.
Why is Mario
Because
laughing?
apparently he dressed up as Johnny Depp.
No way. Is that real?
That's funny.
Dude, I
what
don't
they're saying.
know.
That's funny.
But
I
like
can't
that's
confirm
so
it.
stupid. Like what the fuck? I
That's
feel like
funny.
it's fake. This fake news. Get the fuck out. You mean to tell me Jason Momoa came dressed as Johnny fucking Depp on the set of Aquaman, bitch? That's some bullshit people will make up just to get clickbait.
Yeah.
Clicks and shit.
Yeah.
No way, bro. But let's say it was true. Like all this bullshit going on behind the scenes, and like it went through 3 different cuts. Ben Affleck, Bruce Wayne was going to be cameo, and now maybe he won't be. Like nobody knows what the fuck is going on with this movie at this point, and I'm just kind of over it.
Yeah.
Maybe I would be more concerned if I'm like, bro, but like Aquaman and like the DC universe, like what the fuck? But now that I know it's technically not canon, it could.
And that is why
it can burn and die for all
and
I
that-
give a fuck about.
No, yeah, and this is ties in what I wanted to say, and that is why, right? James Gunn never came clear when the Flash was still coming out, the Shazam, Fury of the
Aquaman.
Gods, and then Blue Beetle and everything. That's why he didn't say anything. That's why he kind of incorporated them and mentioned them in his DCU
So
slate.
I was gonna
because he
actually.
bamboozled us, bruh.
I wrote on the talking points that you mentioned this earlier. So if you want to get into that, you put that James Gunn bamboozled the fans. So if you want to go into more in depth, like how so? Go ahead.
So the reason why I think James Gunn bamboozled us, right, is because obviously he got the role as co-CEO of DC Studios when 4 projects were still on the way: The Flash, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman, right? And so once he finally got that role, he said, "All right, well, here I am. I gotta do what I gotta do, but I'm not gonna say that these aren't canon." that I'm not doing my own thing. Nah, as a matter of fact, I'm going to kind of make it confusing and talk about them in my DCU slate and say how everything is on their own and everything fits nicely together. Because if James Gunn actually came out and said, yeah, guys, this shit's not canon, what he says, what he tweeted out earlier, it starts with Creature Commandos before those movies came out, what Haf just said, I don't give a fuck about Aquaman 2, that's how he would have felt with all these other movies. But because he didn't do that, right, it led us to wonder, you know, and that is what caused us to go see those movies and many other people, you know.
And it's like what Danny said, man.
Yeah, it's a business move.
Business, girl.
It's a business move. Absolutely. And I'm pretty sure, obviously, Warner Discovery, the higher ups, right, told them, hey, just...
You got to promote your shit.
Yeah. You could do what you want with your future shit, but hey, man, we got these 4 projects coming out. Like, at least just wait until this shit is done. Mm-hmm. And obviously, the 3 movies already... We already have... The 3 movies already... that were there were done. That's when James Gunn finally said the Creature Commandos, and then we still have Aquaman left. And I guess it just doesn't matter anymore, right? That's how we feel. Mm-hmm. And that's what I wanted to bring up, bro. He bamboozled us. Yeah, bro. You know, he played us like a fiddle. Yeah, bro. That's crazy, man. Even though we kind of disrespected, though. You know what I mean? How I remember in a few pods that we did in or did we do it in? Did we ever say it in the pod, or was it off the pod?
Well, say what you're gonna say, and I'll let you know.
Where we actually talked about that is like, oh, could it be that James Gunn is just saying this because if he doesn't, the Warner Discovery will lose money from these movies because people won't go see them.
I feel like we did.
We mentioned that before.
I think we have.
We have.
Conversation feels similar.
DCU slate probably. That probably pod. We probably did mention it.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, that's what I meant, man. That's what I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
But it's understandable, right? Like what Danny said, it's a business move. I get it, and because now that we find out that nothing's canon until Creature Commandos, well, guess what? You and I, we don't really care about Aquaman. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just like, it's whatever. You know, obviously we're gonna watch it and review it for HRV, right? But other than that, I mean, it's just whatever, man. I just want to get to it. I want to get to the DCU, the shit that actually matters, you know, and not waste any time. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah, man. I guess the last few talking points that I have on here is that a while back, if you remember, Variety reported that all of the actors from the DCEU will not be reprising their roles.
Yeah.
So Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, Ezra Miller, Jason Momoa, Ray Fisher, they are not coming back to play their characters again, which only further proves the point of us not giving a fuck about Aquaman.
Yeah.
And also maybe semi-confirming that Jason Momoa might actually return as Lobo.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool, man. That'd be pretty cool.
So with that being said, and also knowing how that whole Flashpoint bullshit, like with the Flash movie, maybe doesn't even matter at this point anymore. What are your guys' thoughts as to like hearing that they were not going to come back?
Good and kind of upset, just a little upset.
Well, yeah,
with
for
Henry,
you, Jason Momoa, right? You're Aquaman.
With him, but mainly with Henry Cavill, just because he was Superman to me. Just the way that I look at Henry Cavill is the same way I look at Christian Bale as my Batman. Just because I grew up watching his film along with Christian Bale as Batman. That's not to say, passing the torch on to a new actor, a fresh actor who could bring something completely different to the character, is out of the question. It's good because I feel like just some characters just no longer really fit in the role. Like Gal Gadot, it got to a point after I saw the second Wonder Woman, I was a little like, okay, bro, maybe it made sense.
Hey, that second Wonder Woman was raw. What you mean?
Maybe it made sense in the first Wonder Woman film, but in this one, she's not really making a whole lot of sense as to her playing this character. Like she did the character justice by introducing
the
Wonder
Woman was cool, man.
Yeah, she gave it justice for bringing that character from the book to the live screen, but like the second one just tore it down in my opinion. Yeah, man. I mean, the rest of the characters, to me, they're irrelevant. Really, I mean, really care.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with Danny, man. I think Henry Cavill was a bigger letdown, just because I don't think we didn't really have a chance with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And there was so much potential with him, and it sucks that we didn't get to have that. And it's so weird. It's so stupid what they did, and it sucks because we didn't have that chance with him. Everyone else, I mean, Wonder Woman, with Gal Gadot, I mean, the first Wonder Woman was cool. The second Wonder Woman, that's where it fell off for me. And sure, maybe it might have been not her acting skills. It just could have been the writing and the script and everything. But including Ezra Miller, I don't really care. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's fine. We could get a new Flash. Cool. Same with Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a brain fart.
Cyborg.
No, I'm talking his actor name. What's his
of Batman?
Yeah, Ben Affleck. I don't know why. I'm tweaking right now. But yeah, Ben Affleck. I mean, I didn't really care for that Batman, even though.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Even though there were some cool things with him, I guess, like comic book accurate suit and everything, but I had my issues with him. And to tie back, I remember earlier in the pod, Danny, you said that you didn't want James Gunn to please the fans or whatever, just to focus on the fans. Didn't you say something like that?
Yeah.
And to be honest, and that you didn't want James Gunn to fully please the fans, right, and do what they want, but you want him to
I want him
do his own thing as well, while also pleasing the fans a bit, or whatever. And I think that's what's gonna happen, just because everybody wanted Henry Cavill, and look what happened. James Gunn, everybody wanted Henry Cavill, bro, and look what James Gunn did. He's like, yo, man,
you're right.
Get his ass out of here.
You're right.
But what's cool is that he announced DC Elseworlds, and this is where the exciting part is, where we can maybe see Henry Cavill return as
in the future,
somewhere,
or an alternate version. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and DC Elseworlds is definitely a great idea, bro, of making different DC content that doesn't ruin the main continuity,
right?
And it could be its own thing.
Of course. Sure, I just hope that they don't focus on any of those old characters as much anymore.
Yeah.
However, there is one thing I do gotta say that is the only positive thing I got on Ben Affleck as Batman. Mm-hmm. Just because to me I never really saw him as Batman. If anything, I saw him more as Bruce's father, who could have fucking played as Thomas Wayne in Flashpoint. But that's something. I'm still mad
they didn't get Thomas Wayne.
That's something that they could have done. He would
have been played by Negan.
They had the opportunity. I saw that too. Yeah. He would have been played by Negan
from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That's something they could have done.
With Michael Keaton for fan service. All right, whatever. 80-year-old man.
They wanted to play it. Yeah, right. They pulled a No Way Home.
Really quickly, bro. What you think of Michael Keegan? Actually,
that shit was raw, bro. That shit was cool. I loved it. I mean, I never really saw his films like that.
Yeah.
You know,
wow, I'm surprised.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, no.
I thought you thought it was raw because you did watch his films.
No.
Because
I never saw his
films. Who didn't
films.
watch the Michael Keaton Batman movies? I was kind of like, oh yeah, I get it.
I thought he was pretty cool.
He was all right.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a connection with him because I didn't watch.
No, for sure.
Yeah, no.
Some people saying he's the best Batman and shit.
Yeah.
But to me, it's
that's nostalgia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that's probably.
If you watch his movies, bro, the Tim Burton Batman movies are nothing like the comics. It strays a lot from the source material. It's kind of trash, but whatever.
But the one thing I do hope that in the near future they could bring out, if Sony ain't gonna pull out a Spider-Man 2099 film, I want DC or fucking Gunn to be executive producer of a fucking Batman Beyond.
Yeah, girl.
But I wanted to be Ben Affleck.
Do you think that'd be a DC Elseworld?
Pause.
I can genuinely see Ben Affleck being
Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond being the old retired Batman.
Retired Bruce.
Yeah, the old retired Bruce.
I was like, hold on. Okay, yeah.
That's the only good thing That's the only good thing I can say about.
But obviously,
his
have
character.
that be a DC Elseworld.
Yeah, of course,
situation.
of course. Yeah. That'd be just a one and done type of project where you don't
collaborate.
You don't collaborate with anything. You just strictly just make a fucking film for the fan service. At that point, just fucking give it to us for a live action, and that's it. Don't ever discuss about it. Don't ever add anything to it.
Or what if later on, right when DC Elseworlds is established, maybe James gonna come out and just say oh yeah. Man of Steel, all these different movies are Elseworlds.
Yeah, I'm sure essentially they are.
Right.
I'm sure that.
But I'm just saying, like him confirming it, like coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, guys, just letting you guys know these are Elseworlds and stuff."
Well, I thought that's what he said.
He didn't confirm it. It's just left to us as the audience to like imply.
Oh,
maybe that's what
anything
it is.
That's not main DCU.
Yeah, the only thing he really came out of his mouth that said that confirmed was DC Elseworlds was Joaquin Phoenix's Joker and Matt Reeves' the Batman universe.
Teen Titans Go.
Okay. Teen Titans Go. Yeah, it's weird that he mentioned that, right?
Like, hey man, that's cold. Teen Titans Go.
I haven't seen
cold,
it,
bro.
I haven't seen
hey man, when he brings me a live action Teen Titans film, bro, that's when I'll get on my knees and I'll believe. From that point on, bro.
A Teen Titans?
That's what I want, man. A Beast Boy live action, baby. A Starfire.
You are a Beast Boy. Right now. Yo, this venture.
But a Raven live action.
A Raven live action.
There is one thing I do want to ask. I don't know if you have it written down, How.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I don't know if I didn't mean to cut anybody off.
Nah.
But this is a question for you three, obviously. Do you guys have particular actors in mind that maybe you can kind of like see play a certain character, or an actor you really want to play a character within Gunn's DC?
So I mentioned one, right? And I'm still hell bent on it.
Yeah,
I think Chris Pratt's going to play Booster Gold. So Reps. I think
I like that one.
That one I feel like makes the most sense.
I can see that.
I can see it. What about you, girl?
I don't know. Anybody else?
A specific actor to play a specific character?
I don't know, man.
Because I have one.
Because the thing is, bro, is that with James Gunn, like he even said, he doesn't give a fuck about popular actors. He said as long as the actor can play the character accurately, he'll hire them.
Right.
Like I honestly have no idea who the fuck David Corenswet is, and he's gonna be playing our Superman.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, it's tough because like even if we bring up a big live action like actor in mind, they might not even go with him.
Right.
Hey man, all I want to see is The Rock come back.
You tripping, bro? I want to see out of here. He's the true DC supervillain, bro. Fucking Rock is a villain.
He tried to take over. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They let him take over, bro. That's funny.
And James Gunn said, "Nah, bitch, fuck you."
That's so funny.
He stood up to the Rock.
Remember, dude, Zachary Levi wanted a Shazam post-credit scene in Black Adam, and he said, "Fuck that." He shut that.
He
shit
straight
down.
up said, "No."
Yeah, bro.
Wait, who shut that down?
The Rock.
The Rock.
Oh, The Rock.
The Rock did not want Shazam in the Black Adam movie at all.
He said, "I need a real challenge."
Who are you? Are you a kid or like?
Motherfucker, like The Rock is big as fuck, right? You know how he's like fucking built and shit. He's looking down at Zachary Levi. Come on, little man. Who are
Be
you?
real.
Like you look like Billy Batson compared
I need
to
a
me.
real challenge.
But you look like Billy Batson compared to me.
But The Rock, the comics, buddy. I don't give a fuck about the comics. I'm a movie star. You understand what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to build something.
Yeah.
You are nothing.
I know, bro. The Rock has too much of an ego, bro.
Hey man, dude.
He wanted to.
He tried to be so humble,
bro. What the fuck?
What was the quote that he would always use a lot? A new power or new hierarchy or some shit. Fuck, help me out, man.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like he Mario. Don't you remember? Like The Rock came, like he would say this a lot, and everybody would say a new power or a new higher power has came to the DC or some shit. Like, fuck, people listening, man, comment down below. I mean, I can't.
I can't remember. I remember when he said like we're gonna take another apple and take a bite out of that, like that bullshit, that whole apple analogy.
He's like, what does that mean?
What the fuck, bro? And he like literally talking like he runs DC, bro.
He was, dude. He was running it for a while, man.
He wanted to,
but I did fuck with him bringing Superman back. That's like I did fuck with that.
Yeah,
but it's so funny, man. I'm gonna say, hey, man. I want to see Jason Statham in the DC.
Yeah, bro. Are you kidding?
Hey, that'd be raw, bro.
Jason.
That'd be raw, bro.
Who would he play?
Like as who though? Lex Luthor.
No. That'd be funny. That'd be funny when it's
Oi, Superman.
Jason Statham.
Jason Statham. Who can he play, bro? Jason Statham.
Doomsday.
That'd be funny.
Oh shit, that's funny.
Man, I don't even know what the fuck he can play, man. Jason Statham.
No, not Green Lantern. Who?
Fuck it.
Green Arrow.
Green Arrow?
Nah, hell no.
Oh my god.
Martian Manhunter.
Martian Manhunter? No, wait, Danny, because I know you were checking stuff on your phone. Do you remember when The Rock was taking charge and he used that quote every single time? He's like, a new hierarchy has arrived, or like,
Yeah.
a new man of power, or like, or something like that. Do you remember what he said?
Yeah, I
bro?
remember he would say that on social media.
Mario, can you look that up real
Bro,
quick?
he would always say that on social
He'd
media.
always say that. It was like a quote. That
He
he
literally would be doing what James Gunn would be doing.
He'd be like, a new hierarchy has arrived on the table, or like something like that, bro.
Yeah,
To
to promote his film. Man, this film is trash, bro.
Black Hat.
Yeah,
You know what? I didn't hate it as much, man. I think
The
like,
Rock created a
meme
meme when in one of his workout Instagram posts declared that the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change.
Yeah, there you go. That's the quote. That's the quote.
You would say it became something of a refrain of how much of an impact The Rock expects Black Adam to have.
That's what I'm saying.
A phrase that concerns some DC fans who has been skeptical that why.
I'm telling you, dude. A new hierarchy.
Oh yeah, okay, so it's a picture of him working out.
Yeah, dude.
And the caption is right here. The caption is
Yeah.
the hierarchy of power is about to change.
I'm telling you, dude. Yes, dude. He would say that in
fuck,
interviews
bro?
and shit, dude, to hype everybody up. Like he was acting like he was running that shit, bro. Like he was the face of DC, bro. And James Gunn came in the picture and kicked it.
He said it became something of a refrain for how much of an impact The Rock expects Black Adam to have, and a phrase that concerns some DC fans who have been skeptical that what was once a Shazam villain is supposed to have this much impact and sway in the DCEU simply because The Rock wills it.
Bro, that
I'm telling you,
motherfucker's
dude.
funny as
I
hell.
told you.
This dude is
He's funny as fuck, man.
Yo, Hav, he would like say all the
like
time.
I say so it's gotta happen.
Like, yeah, he would say it all the time, and even in interviews, he'd always say he'd look at the audience and stuff, and he'd say it, and then people would be cheering and shit. Like, dude, it was so funny to me. I'm like, yo, what
that
the fuck,
motherfucker's a cringe, man.
bro? Which he was running shit though. He was though.
For
He
his
was.
film, yeah, for his film. Motherfucker
Not even
wasn't
DC,
doing.
bro. Like because of him, he was
He
able to
got
get
Henry-
Superman.
he got
he was
Henry
about to-
Cavill.
Yeah, bro. Henry
Nah,
Cavill. Hey y'all, I'm back.
He only got that shit
2
for
months-
himself,
2 days
bro,
later.
so he can get a sequel to his bogus
Where he
ass
fights Superman.
film.
Yeah.
He said, "I need a real challenge." Shazam, who motherfucker?
Yeah, for real.
Get out of here, Zachary Levi.
Billy
Yeah,
Batson.
Billy Batson looking ass compared to my built ass.
He's like, who are you, buddy? You're not even my
Right.
bracket. I need somebody who bring in the numbers. You're not bringing in numbers, buddy. Sorry.
Sorry,
Sorry, Slider. That's just the inside joke, guys. With Sorry, Slider.
Like the board game.
The board game.
board
Yeah,
game.
dude. That's so stupid. But yeah, is there anything else? However, do we have any? Did we cover everything, man? Is that? Shit,
I'm trying to
bro.
see.
What's the runtime, man?
I don't know.
The
what are we
runtime is longer than Killers of the Flower Moon. That's for sure.
I don't know what that is, bro.
We just hit over 2 hours.
That we saw.
at? Mara said just over 2 hours.
That's
It's
it.
not bad. It's not bad.
That's perfect. We've done so
not
much.
Yeah.
We've discussed so much.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, so far, I pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
And my notes right here.
Actually. See if you can keep. If there's anything else.
What are you doing, girl?
Oh, that's right. I think Hector said he had notes or something. Or is that where? What?
So, let me see. So we pretty much covered all the talking points, right, Hav? I just want to make sure.
On my end, yes.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
got anything, girl?
No, it's just since we're like so I guess we're at the end of the pod, guys, right? But before we close off, I mean, I do have a question.
Oh shit, dude, we haven't done questions on the pod for a minute.
Yeah, I know, bro. I know. It's just because like I'm kind of they're kind of questions not related to like what we're doing now, whatever.
Yeah.
And so for this one, it's kind of funny because we're talking about the DCU slate, but it's a Marvel question, and I just wanted to
Oh sure, yeah.
like why not just
Shoot it out there, bro.
answer the question and stuff.
Ask a girl.
Because so this question is from Kevin. Shout out to you, Kevin, bro. And he actually asked another question as well, but it's a question for the Hulk review that we're gonna do.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna save that.
Oh, okay, for sure.
But yeah, so his question was, he says, who do you think is the most tragic backstory in the MCU? All of them seem to have something somewhat similar, same type of losses, but I was curious who you guys think has the worst one. And he says, you don't have to go by the movies, but if you all know more due to the comics, that'd be cool too to know. So that's his question. It's funny. I know it's funny. It's a Marvel question, but it's
We're talking about DC.
We're talking about DC, but I just wanted to include it in there, man.
Yeah.
Because he asked this. He asked this a while ago.
It's got to be Thor.
You think so?
I think so.
I like that answer.
Because Thor lost Odin. He's lost his mom. He lost Loki. He lost what's that one guy again? Heimdall.
No.
You know, he basically lost half of Asgard when Thanos came in, and in the beginning of Infinity War, he lost half his people, and then he lost so he lost half his Asgardians, right? When Thanos came in.
Yeah.
So then there was 50% of his Guardians left alive.
Mm-hmm.
Of that 50%, another 50% died from when he snapped. Granted, they came back, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like in his whole story arc, I feel like he's lost the most.
Okay.
Well, it's not necessarily like who lost the most, but more like who do you guys think is the most tragic? Like the most tragic
if we're going movie wise,
if movie or comics,
personally,
Tragic.
like a tragic backstory. I mean, I think I have a few.
Bucky.
I'm surprised. Okay, go ahead. Because I was gonna say.
I was gonna say. I mean, I think we can all kind of agree on Rocket. Just
Okay.
because we kind of saw his origin.
That shit
You
was-
know,
it's
the most recent, it's the more like kind of fucked up one out of anybody. You know, in the films.
Yeah.
But tragic.
I think you're right. It has to be Rocket.
But I do like that. I do like
I didn't
that
mention
Thor one.
Spider-Man.
Nah, fuck that motherfucker.
Why would
it be him?
Why would it be tragic?
Whoa! What do you mean? What
Why would it
happened
be
with his
him?
Uncle Ben and everything? That whole entire story. His
No,
entire
sure,
well,
it's
we're-
sad, but other characters have had it worse.
Yeah, bro. Sure,
So-
he lost his Aunt May, but you can't look. If we're going the movie route, you can't say Uncle Ben because we never got shown an Uncle Ben.
Yeah, he never. That,
Okay,
you know, Uncle
better-
Ben, Uncle Ben. I don't even think
better.
existed.
Okay, fine. I got one.
Go ahead, shoot, girl.
Doctor Strange.
What about him?
With his situation, if we're gonna talk about movies and stuff, with Doctor Strange,
I like.
Why?
I can see that.
Because of his hands?
I can see
because
that.
of his hands and like
because he
the
can never
What If episode.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is a good one. Thor was a good one too.
That's a good one. I don't.
And Rocket's a good one too.
I don't necessarily want to say if this is sad or not, but to me, it's kind of one of those like, you know, it's one of those more like kind of, not even relatable because it's not.
What do you mean it's not related?
Because my thing, because it's not sad, but it's sad, but in a good way. Because it's like a very happy ending to, I guess, like his like tragic backstory. It would be Captain America. So I don't know if one would consider that. Me, you know, obviously, like, you know, we saw his happy ending at Endgame. You know, but like this motherfucker, he went from being, you know, like the runt out of every soldier. He's just trying to serve for the country. They keep telling him the same shit. You know, you're too small. You're not. You know, genetically speaking, you don't have the capability as this guy who's a 6 foot average, you know, American who can fight in war. Like, he'll actually do damage in combat. You won't, buddy. You know, and so then he kind of goes out of his way. He gets the serum, and then he crash lands. You know, only for him to end up getting a date with a girl. He doesn't get to the date because he's frozen in ice. He wakes up in the 21st century, you know, and he kind of like is like, bro, like my whole life is all gone because I was stuck in this ice. You know, I was frozen, and I'm now awakened in the 21st century. You know, I missed my date. You know, a little bit of family. You know, he lost Bucky, who was his only friend. You know, who would take care of him, who would look out for him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously we know,
Right.
you know, as the movies went out, we know with that. But like with him, that's why I was trying to figure out if it was like a little bit relatable, you know,
Yeah.
to maybe it hits some people.
Okay, so if we're just going by movies, right? I guess you said what? Thor? Are you set on
No,
Thor?
I think it's got to be Rocket.
Rocket.
I would say Rocket.
I would say Rocket, Doctor Strange, and even Spider-Man. Spider-Man, that one got me, man. Tobey Maguire's Sam Raimi.
We could talk about any.
Well, he did say MCU.
He said MCU.
He said MCU, but technically.
All right, look. Technically, Tom Holland's backstory in the MCU, it is sad because he loses his Aunt May, and nobody on the planet remembers him. So that
is kind of fucked,
that
bro.
end of it, he's basically all on his own, bro. That motherfucker's on his own, literally. Yeah. So that is the fucked up part.
I could include that. Fine. If we're gonna go, okay, fine. Technically speaking,
you know what?
MCU. Okay, I would say that one's pretty fucked.
You know what? I think I would say Iron Man then, only because he went from being this playboy, like very egotistical guy. Only for him to kind of sacrifice.
But the question was a tragic backstory, not what the outcome was.
I'm still winning with Rocket.
Yeah, no, bro. I think I'm gonna just go with Rocket.
Yeah, Rocket.
I'm gonna go with Rocket. Bro.
I'm gonna.
I gotta say Rocket.
I'm trying. Yeah, you know what? I think you guys are right. To be honest, what we learned from that movie. Okay, and I know this wasn't part of the question, but since we're talking about DC, what about DC? Oh wait, before we move on, Mario, what do you think?
Tragic superhero.
Tragic backstory
or character.
Marvel
backstory
first. Marvel first.
Marvel, yeah.
Honestly,
motherfucker, wake up, bro.
Sorry,
no,
folks.
I get it, man. I don't bash on him. I get it, man.
I don't really know the backstories. Like y'all saying Rocket, but I'm like, what's his backstory?
The raccoon,
no, from the movies, bro. From Guardians.
Best thing, I don't remember it.
You don't remember?
Bro, I just know he was
experimented on.
He was tortured, experimented
right.
on and shit. He was torn apart, put
Animal
back together
abuse.
multiple times.
Dude, I mean, okay. To be fair, we did see a lot of shit, but I mean, if you don't got one, it's cool then, bro.
You can say Rocket.
We could
because
skip on.
Another one I guess I would kind of say would be Star-Lord because he did get kidnapped from Earth. You know, his mom. His mom got killed by the dad, no, and then he had to kill his dad. So it's kind of that backstory of like, bruh, my parent killed my other parent only for me to kill my last living parent. And I'm kind of alone. But I'm still sticking a Rocket. Fuck, no, that's
all right. We're just doing movies, okay?
Yeah. So DC now then.
Yeah. What about DC? From if we're just gonna stick with the theme of just movies.
The movies? Are we talking about DCEU?
I think. I say just because it's so fucked. Let's just include everything.
Okay, yeah. Good.
I think I have one in mind. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. Or we're gonna go with the movies.
Yeah, that's low key. That's low key true.
That's a good one.
I'm trying to think of others, but like I'm gonna be real. Like the next runner up would be the Flash. The Batman, sure. But I don't know. I think
Nah, he good, bro. That motherfucker rich. He good.
His parents died. He good.
His butler took care of him, bro. He good.
Who the Batman? Oh, yeah. I mean,
why the Flash?
You know what? Answer Howe's question. Why the Flash, girl?
Well, like if we're talking about movies,
right?
I would say essentially what happened to his mother and like him not having that closure and even though I know we're like, oh, the Flash is kind of like fuck, whatever. Yeah. I actually did like the Flash. Yeah. It wasn't like what James Gunn said. He bamboozled. What a bitch. But I really did like that whole dynamic scene, right, that he had with his mother and like him trying to find closure and stuff. Even though it's kind of funny because it's like he goes back in time to save her, but doesn't want to go back in time to find out who stabbed her, right? That whole situation. And not having Reverse Flash, right? What a disaster. But I think, yeah, and then if we're gonna, I mean, Batman, I mean, sure, I mean, you're like, I don't know, trust me, this is fucked up, guys, but I don't want to like make it like, oh, it's whatever, sure, your parents got murdered in the alley
in front of you,
so what? I mean, that is fucked.
Yeah, that is fucked.
No, that's fucked, but y'all didn't give a fuck about Spider-Man, so what the fuck? What's the difference with Batman? It's the same shit.
Well, because
it's the same shit.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
That's why I'm not really leaning towards
exactly. Same shit.
Me personally, bro, I would
say Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. If we're just going on movies.
Okay, I think
that makes.
He doesn't have a film of his own, but it would have to be Victor Stone.
Victor Stone.
Cyborg.
Like from
Yeah, I would have
Snyder Cut.
It would have to be Cyborg, just because he's the all-star football player on his football team. His dad basically says, like, your future in football, it don't fucking matter when we got all these superhuman people and all these like fucking gods and monsters running loose. Your sport means nothing in this world now, son. And then for him to kind of like be. He didn't choose to be in that life. He more got like selected.
That is fucked.
He has to now live with it being Cyborg. I think me personally, that his is the saddest.
That is fucked.
That's me, bro.
Like I could fix you type shit. Like
bro.
Man, that is fucked.
On some Five Nights at Freddy's
type shit,
bro.
Yeah, I'm torn between those two. I would say
because
like if we're talking about movies.
Yeah, because if
we're talking about overall. I think I want to stick with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
I'm sticking with that too.
Yeah, but if we're just doing DCEU, then I'll agree with you and do a deal with Cyborg. And I think that's it, dude. I mean, that's all I could think of, man. I mean,
I'm trying to think of some more, but I don't think I can think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. What about you, Mario?
I like that question. I like those questions. Yeah, what about you, girl?
What about you?
You Mario girl.
I don't know. The Joker one is pretty fucked up, bro.
Mans was a loser his whole life.
That's what I'm saying.
Your man's been a loser his whole life.
What do y'all think about it? The next one being a musical.
Dude, we had our thoughts on that, man. We're like, no, what is this? We hope it's. At first, it was rumors, right? And Javi and I like, man, it better not happen.
Amen.
And then those rumors were confirmed, and we're like, oh shit, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And now we're like, well, let's see how it happens. Let's see what happens, man. I don't know. Oh my gosh, I don't. Like I said, right? Same shit. Like I'll eat my words, right? Yeah. If I'm wrong, but I don't like that. I don't like that, man. But if it's fire, then it's fire. I'll say it's fire, and I eat up my words, man. I'll be like, hey, man, I was wrong. It was fire. But why? What do you think? If it's like High School Musical type shit?
Oh no, I'm not thinking of that, bro. I'm still trying to think of sad like deaths, bro.
For movies? I mean, if you wanted to go in comics, you can.
No, well, it's because I was thinking of Superman from Man of Steel. Motherfucker got sent from his parents. They basically pulled a Goku origin on my boy. Clark Kent, and then only for him to be crash landed in Kansas. They find him.
But he got raised by loving parents.
That's true.
But then his dad got taken by a tornado.
Instead of a heart attack.
Which he easily could have saved his ass. And all he has is his mama.
But no, answer the question. What Mario said. What do you think about the second Joker going to be? Musical?
If it works, it works, bro. As long as it's not no like stupid high school musical. I gotta be singing
along with it.
As long as it's not no stupid high school musical where it's literally they're playing like a happy song or like.
We also were skeptical with Lady Gaga, right? Well, at least I was. I was like, Lady Gaga, interesting. What the fuck?
I wasn't. I was.
Really?
I think
fuck no. She's a good actress.
If she appearance-wise, if she looks good and she can act the part as Harley Quinn, fuck it, I'm all down for it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't bug me that it's gonna be a musical as long as.
Hey man.
As long as there's not as much singing, but
because it's not much singing
because it's a musical. But because it's a musical, I have at least fucking 5 fear. Songs. I'm just not trying to see the Joker sing, bro. That's all I fucking.
He's singing, buddy.
I don't want to see his ass sing, bro.
He's gonna sing, buddy. He's gonna sing, dude.
Low-key, bro. That's what scares me, bro.
Because the first movie was fire.
It was fire. And I wish it would have, like... Hey, man.
Alright, well, I mean...
Fuck it, man.
Okay, well, I mean, that's pretty much everything. I mean, final thoughts? Mario, is there anything... did he answer the question?
Bro. I figured it out, bro. I remember my boy.
What? Who?
Now I just gotta get his name right, or else I'm gonna get cooked.
What?
Who?
What happened?
For the rest of my life, bro.
Who? Are you talking about tragic characters?
Are you still on the tragic characters?
Dick Grayson, when he gets beaten to death by the crowbar, by the Joker.
You mean Jason Todd?
That's Jason Todd.
I knew I had his name wrong. Dick is fucking the guy from the Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Todd.
Jason Todd, bro. He gets beaten to death by the Joker, and he comes back alive, and he tries killing Batman. He's like, "You're telling me this whole time you never avenged me by killing this fucker."
You fucking asshole.
It's because I don't kill. Well, I do.
Yeah, type shit. I think his death has to be the saddest, bro. And
so?
And because the fans fucking wanted that motherfucker to die.
That's facts. That is true.
The fans wanted him to die, so they actually voted.
That's facts.
They voted.
You know about that, Hector?
What, that they wanted him to die?
Yeah, because like a lot of comic book fans did not like Jason Todd as a character.
Yeah.
And so like DC put out a poll of like, yeah, you want to see this motherfucker stick around or not?
Or do
And
you want us to
everyone
kill him
voted
off?
no, like kill him off.
And they killed him off.
And that's why they made the whole.
And they brought him back.
The killing. No, it's not killing joke. Or like the whole storyline where he beats Jason Todd.
The death of the family.
Death of the family.
Death in
yeah.
the family.
Yeah.
And then later on, that's where they're like, hey, but like, what if we brought him back though as Red Hood?
And that's when
how
we
that
got.
started.
And
But
now
his
he wrote-
death originally was because of the fans. Like they didn't like him.
I mean,
Does that count?
to you, yeah, sure. Fuck it.
But does that count towards the question?
A tragic backstory?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
His
why not?
backstory. Nobody in the virtual nor in the reality world liked him. They slaughtered Gangsta's
I know
ass
what he's
up.
getting at.
They slaughtered
Like his
Gangsta's
backstory
ass
was
up,
so
bro.
bad that people in real life didn't fuck with him.
Yeah.
Like
I
that's
would
how
stick
bad
with that
it
one. I
was.
would stick with that one. I think I would stick with that
that's
one,
what you're
bro.
getting at. Okay.
That's fun. They slaughtered Gangsta's ass.
I mean, all right, guys. With that being said, man, hang up your capes, man, because that's gonna, be the end of this episode.
It was a good one.
No, yeah, for sure. We hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for listening, and just be ready for whenever we drop a new episode. Until then, wait for our signal. Take care, guys.
Peace.
Later, guys.
Peace.